Chapter 1021. After Sima Yue sorted out the ingredients, she began to refine the third type of pill. Right now she didn't feel tired at all, so refining another batch of pills was no problem at all. This guy's mental strength is too good. Doesn't she feel tired? Do you see fatigue on her face? No. He seems to be quite energetic. This kid's energy is so strong that it's a little scary. That's right. After refining pills for an entire day, she's the only one who hasn't rested. He's already so powerful at such a young age. He'll definitely be a heaven-defying existence in the future. Array Master, contractor of the King of Rocks, Alchemist, it would be great if we could pull such a genius into our sect. Even if she had to choose, she would choose our family. Our family has a much better future than yours. Your family? Forget it. How many geniuses have been buried after being recruited by you? Both of you stop arguing. She definitely won't choose either of you. You guys don't have any sense to be quarreling here. What do you mean? It's simple. You guys are disturbing me from watching the competition. Who are you? How dare you meddle in our affairs? Noisy. Shi Qianji waved his hand, and that person immediately grabbed his throat, unable to speak. Shut up. You can talk after the competition. Otherwise, don't even think about talking for the rest of your lives. Shi Qianji turned to look at Sima Yue, who was concentrating on refining pills. Although the two of them were unwilling, they didn't dare to cause any more trouble because they saw Shi Qianji's signature item, a blood-red fan. Who in the inner region did not know how powerful Shi Qianji's poison was? Whoever provoked him would definitely not have a good ending. Since he said that he would give them the antidote after he was done, it was wisest to remain silent for now. Sir Divine Envoy, this won't cause any trouble, right? A woman beside Shi Qianji asked. What kind of trouble? Shi Qianji looked at the two people and asked, will you find trouble with me? Woo. The two of them hurriedly shook their heads, indicating that they definitely wouldn't. When that person saw Shi Qianji's blatant threat, he helplessly shook his head. Sir Envoy, Sir Right Envoy, don't worry, no one can tell. Shi Qianji said, although it is a little strange why he changed his method of revenge, but if he wants to do it, then let him do it. Just make sure he doesn't need anything. Yes. Shi Qianji looked at Sima Yue, the person in front of her, and said, you're waiting to be slapped in the face. Sima Yue was fully focused on controlling medicine Y in the alchemy furnace. She did not notice that the people around her were looking at her, and she did not care if they were watching her or not. If you do well in the alchemy contest, you will make your father proud. Her mind kept replaying this sentence. What kind of results would make her father proud? She didn't know. She only knew that the closer she was to the front, the better. Fusing, condensing, every step was done carefully and methodically until finally he succeeded in condensing the core. It was done in one go. The people in the stands were all stunned. From the moment she started inspecting the first batch of pills, she had never stopped until she finished refining all the pills. Moreover, there wasn't the slightest pause or mistake in between. It was as if she had refined each pill over 100 times. This mental strength, it's just, even the people in the first group don't have mental strength as crazy as hers. I wonder if she can compete with the people in the first group. Forget it. How old is she? How old are those people? She's only lived a fraction of their age. Her mental strength is already so crazy. It's impossible for her to surpass them in terms of skills. Even if she can't do it today, she will in the future. Yeah, let's wait and see. Sima Yue placed the refined pills on the table and waved her hand. Immediately, a recorder came forward to record her data, time, grade, quantity, and so on. After the recording was done, Sima Yue walked down the stage. Looking at the entire arena, she was the first person to complete the competition. Yeah, you're amazing. Little Seven raised her little hand excitedly. Not bad. Mao Sanquan nodded in satisfaction. Sima Yue returned to her seat and felt a special gaze on her from the spectator stand. She tilted her head and glanced over. Shi Qianji raised his wine glass and toasted her from afar. Then he smiled and drank the wine. Sima Yue frowned slightly. She realized something and turned her head to look at the stage. The person in front of her, the stranger she felt familiar with. As time went by, more and more people finished refining pills. When it was midnight, Ji Qing Yuan announced the end of the competition and no one was allowed to continue refining pills. Then the recorder went up to record the results. We need half a day to tabulate the results. We will inform everyone of the results tomorrow afternoon. The next competition will be held the day after tomorrow. After he finished speaking, he left with a bunch of recorders. The next morning, Everyone was discussing the results and guessing if they could enter the semi-finals. But in Sima Yuyue's room, no one was interested in this. You said that person is Jiang Junxian? Han Miao Shuang widened her eyes and cried out in surprise. I think it should be him. Sima Yue said, I saw Shi Qianji on the stands. If eldest senior brother wasn't here, based on his personality, he wouldn't have gone to watch the competition. Could it be someone else? Su Xiaoxiao asked. Do other people give you a familiar feeling? Sima Yue asked back. No. Han Miao Shuang and Su Xiaoxiao shook their heads. That's it. Sima Yue said, although he disguised himself so that no one could recognize him, but the way he looked at us was a little different. That's why we felt that he was familiar yet unfamiliar. So you're saying that that person is really him? Didn't he replace Kang Junshul? Why did he change his appearance to compete now? Little Seven didn't understand. I think he might have thought it through. This way he can make the Jiang family regret and slap them in the face. Han Miao Shuang shrugged. If I were him, I would also win against Kang Junshul and reveal my identity. I would make those people regret giving up on a more talented person. Then I would kill those people and let them die with grievances. Su Xiaoxiao said. So troublesome. Little Seven laid on the table and said, if I were him, I would go up and give Kang Junshul a few rounds. I would beat him until his parents couldn't recognize him. Then I would cripple his hands and make him unable to refine pills or cultivate for the rest of his life. Violent as usual. Sometimes it's more painful to slap the other party's face mentally. Sima Yue said, but I think that he might do what Little Seven said. Chapter 1022. In the afternoon, the results of the previous day's competition came out. As expected, Sima Yue was at the top of the list, leaving the second place far behind. The results at the back were all very close. Mao Sanquan and the others were very happy when they heard the results. With her results, not to mention entering the top 100, the first place would definitely belong to her. The academy could finally hold its head high this time. Sima Yue did not react to the result. She only said, there are still a few rounds left. It's not too late to celebrate at the end. She took out Sima Lu Xian's life jade. Thinking of him who was nowhere to be found, she couldn't feel happy. This time she was so high profile and worked so hard because she wanted him to be proud of having such a daughter. However, he couldn't see it with his own eyes. She wanted to look for them, but she couldn't. All she could do now was cultivate and cultivate again. When her strength increased, she would be able to look for him. Then she would be able to find out about her mother. Now that the establishment of the organization was on the right track, there was no need for her to manage the subsequent operations. Thinking about the pressure on her, she felt that after this competition she needed to go into seclusion for a period of time to improve her strength. The next day, the second round of the competition officially began. The number of participants was less than half of the previous day. For today's competition, you'll be refining 3 types of pills that you're good at. Prepare your own ingredients. The final evaluation will still be based on the grade, time, quantity, and so on. Good luck to everyone. Everyone already knew what this level was, so they had prepared enough medicinal herbs in their spatial containers. When Ji Qingyuan made the announcement, they immediately took out the medicinal herbs and began to refine the medicinal pills that they were adept at. Today's time was significantly less than yesterday's, and there was almost no sign of furnace explosions. Everyone was able to complete the refinement at the last minute. For a freak like Sima Yue, she took 2/3 of the time to complete the refinement. The final results would only be announced the next afternoon. When Sima Yue ranked first again, everyone was not as surprised as they were the day before. This time, a few hundred names were directly eliminated. Only the top 100 could advance to the next round of the competition. In the third round, there were only 100 contestants left in the second group. Perhaps the later rounds were more exciting, so from the third round onwards, the two groups no longer competed together. Instead, the time was staggered by a day so that everyone could watch it every day. I didn't expect you to be so good at refining pills. But sometimes even a blind cat meets a dead mouse, right? Gu Shiping passed by Yoyue's back. Sima Yue acted as if she didn't hear him and lowered her head to fiddle with her fingernails as nails. There was no need to care about this kind of person. Gu Shi's displeasure, Sima. The third round of the competition was to refine the required pills, but this time it was different from the first round. The pills were still considered common, but the refining process gradually became more difficult. There were 3 sets of herbs on each table, which meant that each person had 3 chances. If they used up all 3 chances, it would be equivalent to being eliminated directly.
After Ji Qing Yuan announced the start of the competition, the contestants picked up the pill recipe and started to study it. Some of them looked happy because they had seen this pill recipe before. They immediately started to refine it. Xia Chang Tian and Zhao Xiangqi had expected this to happen. It was impossible that everyone had never seen this pill recipe before. In order to be fair, they made some changes to the recipe. They changed a few of the ingredients and the refining process was different. Peng dash, the sound of the furnace exploding shocked everyone. They all looked over. Seeing others fail, many of them laughed at their misfortune. Sima Yue only took one look and retracted her attention. She continued to study the pill recipe in her hand. She had seen this pill recipe before. But she noticed that there were a few changes in it. She didn't rush to refine it. She decided to study it carefully first. After an hour, many of the contestants started to refine their pills. Sima Yue also started to check her ingredients. Ping dash, another furnace exploded. Ping dash, the sound of the furnaces exploding was heard one after another. The other contestants started to panic and became more careful. After Sima Yue checked her ingredients, she took a deep breath and started to refine them. Ping dash, Sima Yue heard the sounds of furnaces exploding around her. But it didn't affect her. However, during the fusion process, she made a mistake in the timing of two of the ingredients. This caused the medicinal effects to clash. Like the others, her furnace also exploded. She was different from the others. She didn't throw away the dregs immediately. Instead, she took it out and studied it for a while. Then she picked up the pill recipe and looked at it for a while. This time, her refining went quite smoothly. She took note of all the important points. When it came to the point where the furnace exploded, she was especially careful. Although there was a collision sound in the alchemy furnace, fortunately, there was no danger. The medicinal liquid inside bounced a few times and then quieted down. After the medicinal liquid was completely fused, the pill condensation was no longer a problem for her. Very quickly, a faint medicinal fragrance wafted out from the furnace, indicating that the pill condensation was successful. She kept the pill into a jade bottle. Immediately, someone came forward to tabulate the results. When they came down, they realized that she wasn't the first to complete the refinement. Not long after, someone else also succeeded. What surprised her was that Gu Shiping was also the first to complete his refinement. She thought that people like him who liked to provoke others were brainless. She didn't expect him to have some skills. The top 10 contestants would be selected for the final round. Sima Yue looked at the contestants and roughly predicted who would advance. On the second day, the second group rested and waited for yesterday's results. The first group continued their competition. Sima Yue moved from the contestants' resting area to the spectators' stand. Her position was different so she could see from a different angle. A man sat next to her. Sima Yue glanced at him and said, "Why are you here? Aren't you afraid that someone will kill you?" Shi Qianji opened his fan and waved it, saying, "If I'm afraid, I'm not Shi Qianji." Blindly arrogant. Sima Yue said faintly, "That's him, right? Didn't he sneak into the Jiang family? Why did he come to participate in the competition like this? Weren't you the one who said that it's better to embarrass yourself in front of everyone than to lose on purpose?" Shi Qianji retorted. Sima Yue was stunned. She had said that before, but she said it to Han Miao Shuang and the others. Thinking about it carefully, it was probably because he saw the shape of her mouth and knew what she said, so he changed his mind. Chapter 1023. Shi Qianji looked at Sima Yue in surprise. He smiled and said, "You don't seem to know how important you all are to him. Is that so?" She looked at the stranger that Jiang Junxian had turned into. The corner of her mouth twitched helplessly as she muttered, "His heart is actually very bitter." Shi Qianji said, "Although it's a little pretentious to say this, I've known him for over 100 years. I know the emotions in his eyes. Anger, hatred, indifference, sadness, I know them all." "Why does it sound so passionate?" Sima Yue shuddered. I am a normal man. I am only interested in women." Shi Qianji said. Yes, the one you like is Shi Shuang, but she can only be considered a girl now, not a woman." Sima Yue said. "You even found out." Shi Qianji did not deny it. "It's a pity that she never had me in her heart before. You're talking about the past. It's different now. I can tell that she's very attached to you now." Sima Yue said. "But that's not the attachment between lovers. However, who cared if it was true or not? It's fine as long as she's by my side." Shi Qianji's smile was slightly bitter. "That's a wise idea," Sima Yue said. "Sometimes when two people are together, they don't have to be so calculative." You speak as if you've experienced it before. Shi Qianji laughed. There are some things that you don't have to experience on your own. It's the same if you see more of them, Sima Yue said. Hee perhaps. Shi Qianji chuckled. It was unknown whether he agreed or disagreed with her statement. The two of them didn't speak after that and watched the competition below. Other than Jiang Junxian, Han Miao Shuang and Su Xiaoxiao had also advanced. The other students of the academy had been eliminated in the previous round. When Jiang Junxian was free, he glanced at Kang Junchul. After today's competition ended, Kang Junchul would definitely not be able to advance to the top 10. What kind of expression would the Jiang family have when they found out that the person they had abandoned was the one with true talent? Sima Yue looked at Jiang Junxian's eyes and sighed in her heart. As time passed, many people finished refining. After the recorder recorded the results, they returned to the resting area. Han Miao Shuang and Su Xiaoxiao didn't complete it well. There were many people who completed it before them. However, their expressions were not bad, unlike the others who were flustered and exasperated. Do you think Jun Xian can enter the top 10? Shi Qianji asked. I don't know if he can enter, but Kang Junchul definitely can't. Sima Yue said. In front of Jiang Junxian, there were more than a dozen people who finished before him. If their levels were higher than his, then he would not be able to enter. However, if there was someone whose level was lower than his, then he still had hope. That guy is all talk and no substance. I think it's already very difficult for him to enter the top 100. I dare to wager that he is absolutely in the bottom few. Shi Qianji said. I don't think there's a need to bet. Bang! Not long after Sima Yue finished speaking, Kang Junchul's furnace exploded. Since then, his furnace exploded 3 times and he had no chance at all. His result was 0. However, because he entered this round, he was considered to be in the top 100. Look at the Jiang family, haha, their faces are all green. Shi Qianji pointed at the Jiang family and laughed, attracting everyone's attention. He was the first person who dared to laugh at others so openly. Can you be more low-key? Sima Yue rolled her eyes at him. Why should I be low-key when it's something to be happy about? Shi Qianji retorted. He was never a low-key person. On the contrary, he was always high-profile, so many forces in the inner regions knew about him. However, when he saw Sima Yue rolling her eyes, he knew better than to laugh out loud. Before the competition ended, Shi Qianji left first. Sima Yue was glad that he left. Otherwise, people would really think that they were on the same side and blame it on her. When they returned to the inn, the results from yesterday were already out. Sima Yue entered the finals as the first place. Mao Sanquan smiled so widely that the wrinkles on his face bloomed. This was the first time the academy had held its head up high in recent years. In the past, people who had laughed at the academy for not being able to nurture top talents were so shocked that their jaws almost hit the ground. In the finals, Sima Yue was first, Gu Shiping was 7th. Out of the other 8, 3 were from the middle regions and the rest were from the inner regions. From this, it could be seen that there was a huge difference between the inner regions and the outer regions. She also knew the 3 from the middle regions. One was Tuoba Yen from the Tuoba family, another was Tsang Lang Qi from the Tsang Lang family, and the last was Moyu from the Emo family of Xiliang. Tuoba Yen from the East Ridge, Tsang Lang from the North Desert, Emo family of Xiliang, and Qin family of the South Desolation. The 4 great families had sent people, but the Qin family was slightly weaker and did not enter the top 10. When Sima Yue arrived at the resting area, the other 9 people were already there. When they saw her, they all stared at her. Sima Yue, are you from the Sima family? Xin Yixin, who was in 3rd place last time, said. Sima family? What Sima family? Sima Yue looked at her in confusion. You're not from the Sima family? Xin Yixin asked. I don't know what Sima family is. Sima Yue shook her head. Xin, she's not from the Sima family. This time the Sima family sent Sima Yun and Sima Chi and the others. They were already eliminated in the last round. Gu Shiping said, I've never heard of the Sima family having a Sima Yue. Xin Yixin looked at Gu Shiping, then looked at Sima Yue, saying, Then where are you from? This was someone from the inner regions. Before this, they didn't even know the names and identities of others. If it wasn't for the fact that Sima Yue's grades were better than hers, she probably wouldn't condescend to talk to her. I'm a student from the Heavenly Sect, she said faintly. People from the outer regions? No one from the Heavenly Sect has entered the top 100 before. Song Mingzhu, who was sitting with Xin Yixin, said. It's not that no one has entered before. It's that you don't know that someone has entered. Sima Yue said. I heard that the Heavenly Sect was originally going to be eliminated by the Pill subdivision, but because of what happened last time, you guys are safe again. However, using this method to stay isn't something to be proud of, right? Isn't that so? It's just an academy with a bit of power in the outer regions. They actually think that there's something. Sima Yue sneered in her heart. She didn't even know these people, but they kept slandering the academy. It seemed like these people weren't virtuous people. But from what I know, as long as I enter the top 100, the academy will be able to stay in the Pill subdivision openly. Don't tell me that I'm not standing with you guys now? Speaking of which, my results in the first 3 rounds were slightly better than yours. I'm the only one who got full marks for the theory earlier, right? She retorted. Chapter 1024. You only got first place in the preliminaries. The results of this competition are not based on previous results. Song Mingzhu said, you're from a small place. You definitely don't know that your true strength will only be revealed at the end. You just need to be steady in the competition at the beginning. Just because you were first doesn't mean you will be first in the future. You're right, I think so too. Sima Yue nodded in agreement. After he finished speaking, he saw that Ji Qingyuan said that he could go on stage. He ignored these people and turned to go on stage. When Song Mingzhu saw this, she glared hatefully at her back and went up with Xin Yeshuan and the others. Ji Qingyuan waited for them to go on stage before saying, today will be the final round. The topic is very simple. You are free to refine medicinal pills. There is no time limit or type limit. Each person has 3 chances. The final result will be decided by your grades. The one with the highest grade wins. If their grades were the same, the one with the highest grade would win. If the grade was the same as the level, it would be ranked according to the time it was completed. This is your last match, so give it your all. With that, he left the arena. This round was similar to the second round, but this time no one would hold back. Dong, Song Mingzhu took out a pill furnace. This pill furnace was quite heavy and made a dong sound. Sima Yue looked over. The cauldron was thick and heavy, and the patterns on the cauldron were exquisite. She could tell that the cauldron was not an ordinary one. This is the 100-flower cauldron, ranked 25th among the cauldrons. Song Mingzhu proudly lifted her chin at her. Sima Yue curled her lips as she looked at the fancy patterns on the cauldron. It was really dazzling. However, it was said that the pill furnace ranked 25th could increase the success rate of refining pills. How is it? You've never seen it before, right? Song Mingzhu took Sima Yue's disdain as a sign of ignorance. Not only me, everyone here has a cauldron on the list. Do you have one? Sima Yue blinked her eyes. Did she have a cauldron on the list? Soon after, Xin Yeshuan and the others also took out their own cauldrons. Some of them had already used them in the previous rounds, while some of them were taking it out for the first time. Just as Song Mingzhu had said, their cauldrons were all in the top 50. The best cauldron was Xin Yeshuan's 100-beast cauldron, which was ranked 15th. Everyone's cauldrons have been taken out. You should also take out yours to take a look. Song Mingzhu said, don't tell me it's still that tattered cauldron from before? Gee, someone laughed out loud. They had seen Sima Yue's cauldron before. Although it wasn't tattered, compared to theirs, it was like the difference between clouds and mud. Sima Yue looked around. Were they really waiting to see her make a fool of herself? With a thought, she took out the cauldron from the alchemy room in her spirit pagoda. Dong, the heavy impact caused the ground to tremble. If the ground wasn't made of marble, a D would have been carved out of it. Auspicious dragon and phoenix. Xin Yeshuan shouted. Auspicious dragon and phoenix? The 10th ranked dragon and phoenix bringing prosperity? Xian, are you mistaken? Song Mingzhu didn't believe it. It must be it. I've read about it in a book. Xin Yeshuan said. Didn't they say that the dragon and phoenix bringing prosperity had disappeared for many years? Our clan has been looking for it for many years. I never thought that it would be in her hands. Xin Yeshuan said. Not only her, the others were also shocked. They never thought that she would have such a cauldron. Sima Yue saw their shocked expressions and thought that it was lucky that she took this cauldron. If she took the other 2 cauldrons, they would be even more shocked. Although she didn't know the names of the other 2 cauldrons, their grades were higher than the dragon and phoenix cauldron. They were definitely ranked higher. These cauldrons were all collected by Little Spirit's previous owner. In the past, her strength was low and she couldn't control them well. That was why she used normal cauldrons in the beginning. After her strength increased, she started to use the dragon and phoenix cauldron. Although Xin Yeshuan and the others were shocked, they quickly regained their composure and started to prepare their own ingredients. They had to carefully think about what kind of pill to refine today. If the grade of the pill was too low, they would lose to others in terms of grade. If the grade of the pill was too high, they might not be able to succeed. Actually, everyone's strength was about the same. Being able to refine a 7th grade pill before the age of 100 was already very impressive. It was almost impossible for them to break through to the 8th grade. However, that didn't exclude the fact that there were monstrous geniuses. That was why they all chose 7th grade pills. Low grade, middle grade, high grade and top grade pills would depend on their strength. Sima Yue wasn't in a hurry to decide what pill to refine. She first looked at the other people's ingredients and judged what kind of pill they were going to refine based on their ingredients. When she saw Mou and Xin Yeshuan's ingredients, her eyes flashed. After thinking carefully, she took out her own ingredients. Those ingredients filled the table like a small mountain. Why are you using so many ingredients? The others have much less than her. Little Seven often watched them refine pills and had some understanding of the process. She had more ingredients than the others. That meant that she would need a longer time to refine and fuse them together. There were more uncertainties and the chances of failure would be higher. That was why the others chose to refine pills with fewer ingredients. They wanted to be faster in terms of time. She always knows what she's doing. Let's continue watching. Han Miao Shuang looked at Sima Yue's ingredients and her heartbeat sped up abnormally. She couldn't be going to, for pills of the same grade and level, the order of completion would affect the ranking. Everyone knew that everyone's strength was about the same. That was why the order of completion was very important to them. After making their preparations, everyone started to refine. Sima Yue was no exception. After checking the ingredients, she started to refine them. The refining stage wasn't a problem for everyone. It wasn't difficult to refine a few ingredients at the same time. After more than an hour, everyone finished refining. As they fused, the gap between them gradually widened. Those who were faster fused dozens more types of essences than those who were slower. Sima Yue carefully controlled the situation in the cauldron. That was why her speed was much slower than the others. When the others finished this stage, she still had a third of the way to completion. See, I told you that too many ingredients would affect the progress. Little Seven was a little impatient. She was worried for Sima Yue. Don't worry, little junior brother won't lose. Su Xiao said. When Sima Yue finished refining, someone's cauldron was already releasing the fragrance of pills. That meant that they had already succeeded in the initial stage of refining pills. As long as there were no accidents, that cauldron of pills was a success. Very quickly that person shouted and opened the lid. He slapped the cauldron and 2 pills flew out. He grabbed them in his hand. Chapter 1025. Read 336. That person placed the pills on the jade plate on the table, and everyone could see his results. Advanced rank 7. This result was already very good. As the first to complete it, he could already defeat all the people below rank 7 advanced in seconds. If there were no tier 7 or tier 8 pills, he would be the winner of this competition. Once this result came out, it immediately gave the others tremendous pressure. Everyone wanted to fight for first place, but with his results, it wasn't easy to surpass him. After all, not many of them were above the advanced level. 2 of them were mentally unstable. They couldn't withstand the pressure and couldn't keep up with their actions. Although they immediately reacted and tried to salvage the situation, it still affected them. In the end, their final level dropped by 1. However, there were also a few people who weren't affected. Xin Yeshuan, Mou and Sima Yue didn't seem to see that person's results at all. They only cared about their pills. After that, a few more people completed the refinement. There were 3 rank 7 middle-level cultivators and 3 rank 7 advanced-level cultivators. Including the person just now, there were 7 people who had completed the refinement. Only Yue and the other 2 were left. They spent a lot more time than the others. Half an hour after the others finished, Mou finished refining. When the pills came out, everyone immediately realized that they were 2 top-grade 7th-grade pills, better than anyone before. If Sima Yu and Xin Yixin were only able to refine 7th-ranked pills, then she would be able to take first place in this competition. If they were both able to refine 8th-ranked pills, then she would be able to take 3rd place in this competition. But to refine a level 8 medicinal pill? No one believed that such a thing would happen, so everyone was certain that Mou would be the winner of this competition. The Xin family and the Song family sat together. Song Mingzhu had performed abnormally in this competition. Usually she could refine 7th-grade pills, but this time she could only refine high-grade pills. Aya, your family's Mingzhu's mentality is too bad. How did she perform so abnormally? The leader of the Xin family, Elder Xin Qing, spoke with regret, but the expression on his face was different. That smile of his made the eyes of the Song family hurt. I heard that you guys are aiming for first place this time. I'm afraid that's not going to happen. The leader of the Song clan, Song Jia, harumphed. Xin Yeshuan's grade is the same as Mingzhu's. She's only a top grade 7th grade pill. Now that Mo clan's girl has already concocted a top grade 7th grade pill, even if Xin Yeshuan performs normally and successfully concocts a pill, she won't be able to get first place. Haha, that's where you're wrong. Chen Qing chuckled and said, our family's young miss has already broken through the 7th grade not long ago and became an 8th grade alchemist. What? Song Jia cried out in surprise. She's only in her 80s, how could she be an 8th grade alchemist? Chen Qing's face was full of pride as he proudly said, my family's young miss is extremely intelligent, becoming an 8th grade alchemist is nothing strange. I didn't expect you to hide it so well. Song Jia coldly snorted. My family's young miss keeps a low profile. Even though she has become an 8th grade alchemist, she still doesn't want to show off. Unlike your family's Song Mingzhu, I'm afraid that when she broke through to become a pill master, she had already wantonly announced it. Xin Qing said. My family's young miss likes to share her joy with others. Song Jia said, but what I want to say is that Xin Yeshuan has just become an 8th grade alchemist not long ago. Her technique is still not proficient. Refining an 8th grade pill in this kind of competition is probably very difficult to succeed. My family's young miss is very strong. Qin Qing said with certainty, she will definitely get first place this time. Is that so? Song Jia laughed, maybe it's someone else? This Sima Yue has always entered the finals in first place. We've already investigated her, she's a student of the Heavenly Sect. Previously, she didn't have any outstanding results in alchemy, we don't know why she suddenly appeared this time. Qin Qing said. Not having outstanding results doesn't mean that she doesn't have any ability, it's just that she's low profile. Song Jia laughed and said, she's even more low profile than your family's young Mississippi. Even if that's the case, it's impossible for her to become an 8th grade alchemist. Qin Qing said, in fact, a 30-year-old 7th grade alchemist is already very shocking. That's true. Song Jia's interest that had just been aroused was once again extinguished. Becoming a 7th grade alchemist was already very heaven-defying. If she were to become an 8th grade alchemist, that would be too unimaginable. If she was like this, how would others live? Unfortunately, she still hoped that someone would be able to suppress Shen Yixian, otherwise the Shen family's buttocks would be raised to the sky. While they were talking, there was movement from Shen Yixian's pill furnace. Waves of pill fragrance wafted out, making people feel relaxed and happy. Success. The Shen family members were the first to shout. Shen Yixian's heart was also filled with joy. This pill fragrance meant that she had already succeeded in the initial stage and had passed the most dangerous stage. As long as she did it properly, then there wouldn't be any problems. However, things didn't go as she had expected. The 8th grade alchemist had to be very careful in the later stages. Because she let her guard down a little, the pill was almost destroyed. Luckily, her mental fortitude was strong enough and she managed to salvage it. However, the shape of the pill wasn't that good. Success. Everyone present shouted excitedly. Such a young 8th grade alchemist, this was a new record in the alchemy world. Shen Yixian's face revealed a smile. She retracted the flame, took out the pill and placed it on the jade plate. 8th grade alchemist, it's really an 8th grade alchemist. Seeing the successful pill, everyone became even more excited. She'll definitely be the champion in this competition. Definitely. No surprises. That Sima Yue is still refining. She's just wasting time. Sima Yue didn't pay attention to Shen Yixian after she had succeeded. Shen Yixian admired her calmness and looked at her approvingly. Then she retreated to the side and stood with the others to watch Sima Yue's competition. Sima Yue focused all of her mental energy into the pill furnace. It was as if she was looking at the situation inside with her own eyes. If there was anything wrong, she would immediately remedy it. She felt that she didn't care about anything anymore. She couldn't see anything. Her eyes, heart, and brain were all focused on refining pills. This empty state was the same as when she was refining pills in the Nightstar Ocean. It was a little difficult to condense the pill, but the medicinal liquid still merged together and slowly condensed into a pill. She succeeded too. Song Mingzhu exclaimed. This medicinal fragrance? The others were also very surprised. They could all smell this fragrance. It was an 8th grade alchemist. She's actually also an 8th grade alchemist. The entire venue quietened down. Everyone wasn't as excited as before. They were so shocked that they couldn't speak. Even if she's refining an 8th grade alchemist and Xian Xian succeeded earlier than her, she still won't be the champion. This book came from the website. Chapter 1026. Everyone could see that Sima Yue had concocted a grade 8 pill, but at the same time, no one thought that she would win. The fragrance was getting stronger and stronger, clearly telling everyone that she had succeeded in refining the pill. Why isn't it over yet? Song Mingzhu asked. By this time Xin Yeshuan had already finished concocting the pill. However, she was still continuing. Could it be that she can refine even higher grade level 8 medicinal pills? I don't think so. Xin Yeshuan said, for her to be able to become an 8th grade alchemist is already a heaven-defying existence. It's impossible for her to be higher than me. Then why are you still refining? They should be finishing up. Mou exclaimed when she saw the changes above her head. Everyone looked up and saw that dark clouds were beginning to gather in the clear sky. Pill tribulation. She actually triggered a pill tribulation. Xin Yeshuan cried out in disbelief. How can this be? It really is a pill tribulation. She actually triggered a pill tribulation. Everyone felt that it was inconceivable. However, as the tribulation clouds grew thicker and thicker, they had no choice but to believe what they were seeing. Sima Yue raised her head and looked at the tribulation clouds in the sky. She felt that it was about time. She put away the fire, opened the lid and took out the refined pills. Pa! As soon as the pill appeared, the lightning tribulation immediately struck down. Sima Yue held onto the elixir. Because she had become the target of the lightning tribulation, she was struck along with the elixir. Xin Yeshuan and the rest had already escaped from the arena before the lightning tribulation struck. They didn't want to be accidentally injured. She actually directly withstood the lightning tribulation. She couldn't have been struck to death, right? Song Mingzhu patted her chest and said, I don't think so. Mou said, looking at her, it shouldn't be her first time seeing a pill tribulation. She didn't panic at all. She'll be fine. It's better if he's dead. Isn't that right, Xian Xian? Gu Shiping snorted coldly. Xin Yeshuan only glanced at her and didn't say anything. Then she continued to watch Sima Yue's tribulation. Every alchemist understood that even for pills of the same grade and grade, those who had experienced a pill tribulation were different from those who had not. She had lost this competition. However, she was interested in Sima Yue. How could there be such a monster in this world? After 3 bolts of tribulation lightning, the tribulation cloud reluctantly left. His wine was almost finished and this guy didn't even send some over. However, as a friend, she didn't seem to want to reveal their relationship in such an occasion. It was better for her to leave in a low-key manner. To Sima Yue, the lightning tribulation was like a tickle. The purple lightning was protesting in the lightning pool. This amount was not even enough to be an appetizer. She placed the pills on a jade plate and looked down at Ji Qingyuan. Ji Qingyuan came up and called the other contestants up. Xin Yeshuan and the others returned to their seats. On the table were the pills that they had just concocted. Xia Chang Tian and Zhao Xiangqi brought the 4 alchemists up and inspected their results one by one, announcing their results in front of everyone. Song Mingzhu, 7th rank advanced, 3rd to complete. Gu Shiping, middle rank 7, 6th completed. Mou, top grade 7th rank. Xin Yeshuan, low grade 8th rank. Xia Chang Tian and the others came in front of Sima Yue and picked up her pill to take a look. He smiled and said, Sima Yue, low grade 8th rank, 2 pill veins. He raised the pill in his hand and let everyone see the pill veins on it. After that, he put the pill back and said to Sima Yue, good job. He then returned to the main stage. Sima Yue and the others packed up their things and returned to the resting area. The results of the competition would be announced today. They just had to wait a little longer. On the main stage, the Sage Pavilion's pavilion master looked at Sima Yue and twirled the thumb ring in his hand. You already knew, didn't you? Xiao Yunxiao asked Wu Lingyu. Know what? Wu Lingyu acted dumb and looked innocent. He's the person in the dark forest. Xiao Yunxiao said, he's your junior brother. Don't you know that he was the one who did the dark forest? He didn't tell me. Wu Lingyu said, I've been in closed-door cultivation for the past few years and haven't paid much attention to the outside world. I didn't see what happened in the dark forest with my own eyes. You really didn't know? Xiao Yunxiao stared at him, trying to find something strange on his face. I know now, Wu Lingyu said lightly. His eyes looked as if he really only knew now. Bring him to see me tonight. Xiao Yunxiao said, can you do that? Yes. Then I'll wait for you. Yes. Wu Lingyu looked at Sima Yue and saw the smile on her face. His lips curled into a faint smile. It seemed that some things had to be brought forward. Xiachang Tian skimmed through the results that Ji Qingyuan passed to him. He then stood up and cleared his throat, saying, "I'll now announce the results of this year's youth competition. First place, Sima Yue. Second place, Xinyi Xian. Third place, Mou. Fourth place. Now may the top 3 come to the podium to receive your prizes." Sima Yue and the other 2 came to the center of the competition grounds where a podium had been set up. After they stood up, Xiachang Tian and 3 maids walked up with trays. He came in front of Mou and handed her the box, saying, "Congratulations." "Thank you, President." Mou smiled as she received the prize. Xiachang Tian then came in front of Xinyi Xian and congratulated her before handing her the prize. He then came in front of Sima Yue and handed her the item, saying, "I knew that you wouldn't let me down. Congratulations." Sima Yue knew that the box contained the 10,000-year Methria fruit. This thing was of no use to her now. However, she might as well keep it since it might be useful in the future. She took the box and said, "Thank you." After Xiachang Tian gave the prizes to the 3 of them, he took a step back and said, "As the top 3 of this year's competition, I sincerely invite you to join the Alchemist Guild so that we can discuss and improve together." Mou was very happy and immediately agreed. Xinyi Xian considered for a moment and said, "Thank you, President, for your kind intentions, but the clan can't do without me." This was a tactful rejection. Xiachang Tian didn't have much of a reaction to her rejection since he had already guessed that she wouldn't join. He looked at Sima Yue. Sima Yue thought for a moment and said, "Thank you, President, for your invitation. However, Yue still has matters to attend to, so I'm afraid that I won't be able to stay in the guild." "Yue, don't you want to go further in the alchemy world?" Xiachang Tian asked. "We have outstanding alchemists here that will be of great help to your future development." Sima Yue still shook her head and said, "President, I'm not trying to shirk my responsibilities. I really do have matters to attend to and can't stay in one place for long." Xiachang Tian looked at her and made a decision in his heart. Chapter 1027. Read 336. 10 minutes later, Sima Yue held the token in her hand and looked helplessly at Xiachang Tian's satisfied figure. Just when she had rejected the offer to join the Alchemist Guild, Xiachang Tian had taken out a guest elder's token and insisted that she should become a guest elder of the Alchemist Guild. After she refused, he began to make all kinds of threats and promises, trying his best to act shamelessly. In the end, she really couldn't stand it anymore and had to accept it. "Congratulations." Xin Yishuan turned around and congratulated him with a smile. "Thank you." Sima Yue looked at the sincere smile on her face and thought that although this person was arrogant, she still recognized those who were truly capable. "Congratulations, you're amazing." Mou also congratulated her from the side. The 3 of them left the arena together. The competition this time was full of twists and turns, and Sima Yu's reputation immediately rose. Some people from the inner circle thought that Sima Yue was a member of the Sima family. However, when they saw that the Sima family didn't even pay any attention to her and directly left the city, they dismissed this thought. If she was really a member of the Sima family, who would give up on such a talented youth? The next day was the final round of the first group. Since no one from the academy had made it to the finals, everyone was very relaxed and celebrated in the inn. That night, everyone didn't take any antidote for hangover. They were all dead drunk, lying around the room, lying on the table or hugging a stool before falling asleep. This was what Wu Lingyu saw when she arrived. Sima Yue was a good drinker. She only felt a little dizzy after the others collapsed. When she saw Wu Lingyu, she smiled and asked, "Senior brother, why are you here?" "I'm here to see you." Wu Lingyu walked over, took her hand and led her out of the inn. Little Seven was drunk and in a daze. When she saw Sima Yu leave, she followed them to the backyard. "You, where are we going?" Little Seven rubbed her eyes and asked in a daze. Sima Yue did not expect Little Seven to follow her. She smiled helplessly when she saw Little Seven's dazed face and her half-closed eyes. She had followed him out unconsciously. "Go to the Spirit Pagoda and sleep for a while." With a wave of her hand, Little Seven went into the Spirit Pagoda. "This little guy is inseparable from you now." Wu Lingyu was a little jealous. Little Seven was trapped for a long time in the past. After she evolved with me, she evolved in the Spirit Pagoda, so she is more dependent on me. Although she has lived for thousands of years, her mental age is like that of a child. Sima Yue said. "I know." But he still felt uncomfortable in his heart. "Master." The fat shopkeeper bowed to Wu Lingyu. "You may leave." Wu Lingyu nodded and brought Sima Yue into the house. He waved his hand and the door closed. Then he pulled Sima Yue to sit on a chair. Sima Yue sat on his lap and asked, "Does this inn belong to you?" "You can say so," Wu Lingyu said. "So you were lying when you said there were no more rooms?" Sima Yue stared at him. "No." Wu Lingyu denied, "There are no more rooms." "Do you think I believe you?" Sima Yue snorted. "You can ask the shopkeeper if you don't believe me," Wu Lingyu said. "He is your man. He will definitely listen to you." Sima Yue said, "If you say there are no more rooms, will he dare to say there are?" Wu Lingyu smiled but did not say anything. "Where did you go before? You didn't come when such a big thing happened." Sima Yue did not dwell on that issue. Anyway, this guy was lying so that he could stay with her. "Something happened at the general pavilion and we were called over," Wu Lingyu said. "You can get hurt at the general pavilion? With your strength, is there anyone who can hurt you?" Sima Yue thought of something and stood up from his lap, saying, "Is it because your soul and body did not fuse well?" Wu Lingyu saw that she was so nervous and pulled her back, saying, "No, it's just that the situation was a little complicated and I couldn't let anyone know about it. That's why I got a little hurt." "Your soul and body did not fuse well. There will be repercussions. You have to be careful when you are outside," Sima Yue said worriedly. "I know. You don't have to worry about me," Wu Lingyu said. "Okay." The two of them cuddled for a while. Seeing that it was getting late, Wu Lingyu said, "I'll bring you to do something big tonight." "What is it?" "Kill someone." Sima Yue stared at him, saying, "Kill someone? Who do you want to kill?" "Are those old guys in your spirit pagoda still there?" Wu Lingyu asked. Sima Yue nodded. "Let them help later," Wu Lingyu said. "You really want to kill someone?" Sima Yue blinked. Was this guy joking? "Of course," Wu Lingyu said, "although it's brought forward, it's not completely bad." "You want to kill Xiao Yunxiao?" Sima Yue asked in surprise. "Smart." Wu Lingyu kissed her face, saying, "How about it? Do you dare?" "Why wouldn't I dare?" Sima Yue said, "But if I go, I might be a burden. You just have to watch from the side." Wu Lingyu said, "If the situation doesn't seem right, call those people out from the spirit pagoda." What's going on? Sima Yue was a little confused. He seemed to be very confident, but he mentioned calling those people out from the spirit pagoda. This meant that he wasn't confident. "He wants to see you." Wu Lingyu said, "You went through the pill tribulation today. He recognized you as the person who attracted the lightning tribulation in the dark forest. He asked me to bring you over tonight." "He wants to see me? He wants to kill me?" Sima Yue asked. "No matter what his motive is, I won't agree to it." Wu Lingyu said, "I wanted to let him live for 2 more years, but now it's brought forward. I told him that you just became the guest elder of the Alchemist Guild. It's not good to meet you in the city, so we arranged to meet outside the city." Wu Lingyu said, "If nothing unexpected happens, he'll go by himself. This way I'll be more than enough to deal with him. But if he brings people over, I'll need the help of those old guys if I want to deal with them all. No matter what, we can't let people know that we killed him. Otherwise we'll attract some unnecessary trouble." Sima Yue opened her mouth slightly. "You made this decision at the last minute?" "Yes. That old guy is cunning. If I don't bring you to see him, he'll definitely find something strange. If I bring you over, he'll definitely try to recruit you. If he doesn't succeed, he'll kill you. Since that's the case, why don't we take the initiative and prevent him from bringing you trouble? Let's go, I'll bring you to see him." Wu Lingyu pulled her up and flew her out of the city. This book came from the book and book #web. Chapter 1028. The two of them went outside and descended from the clouds, arriving at a villa below. "Your Highness Holy Son, the hall master is waiting for you inside," the guard said when he saw Wu Lingyu bringing Sima Yue in. Wu Lingyu walked in front and Sima Yue followed behind, entering a room in the backyard. Xiao Yunxiao sat on a cushion, his face full of wrinkles, looking much older than he did in the day. In the day he looked like a middle-aged man, but at night he looked like an old man. This kind of change was really surprising. She raised her head and looked at Wu Lingyu, wanting to know what was going on. "I'll tell you later." Wu Lingyu gave her a look. Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu stood at the door for a while before Xiao Yunxiao opened his eyes. "Hallmaster, I've brought them here," Wu Lingyu said. "Greetings, Hallmaster." Sima Yue nodded at Xiao Yunxiao. "You're Lingyu's junior brother, so I won't beat around the bush. Are you willing to join the Sage Pavilion?" Xiao Yunxiao asked. Sima Yue did not expect him to be so direct, so she declined. Thank you, Hallmaster, for your favor. Yue has a heavy responsibility, so I'm afraid I can't join the Sage Pavilion. You're the one who did what in the Dark Forest, right? Xiao Yunxiao said confidently. You killed my people. If you join us, we'll let this matter go. If you're not willing, then we can't keep you. You have to think carefully. Hallmaster, are you threatening me? Sima Yue asked coldly. No, I'm not threatening you. I'm just stating a fact. Xiao Yunxiao said, this is because your senior brother is the holy son of the Sage Pavilion. If it was anyone else, I'm afraid you'd be a corpse by now. What if I say no? Sima Yue said. Lingyu, you should persuade your junior brother. Xiao Yunxiao said, I'll give you one night. If you're still like this, no need, I won't join you. Sima Yue said, my master said before that the Sage Pavilion isn't a good place. He's already unhappy that one of my senior brothers went there. If I were to join them, he would be angered to death and I would be in big trouble. So you'd rather die than join us? Xiao Yunxiao's expression turned ugly. Yes. Then I'll fulfill your wish. Lingyu. Wu Lingyu looked at Xiao Yunxiao and then looked at Sima Yue. He raised his right hand slightly and pure white spiritual energy slowly condensed in his hand. Sima Yue did not show any signs of fear. Wu Lingyu did not move after condensing his spiritual energy, as if he was hesitating. Lingyu, do it. Xiao Yunxiao shouted, thinking that Wu Lingyu wouldn't make a move. Wu Lingyu lowered his head and looked at the spiritual energy in his hand. He slowly raised his hand and suddenly attacked Xiao Yunxiao. Xiao Yunxiao did not think that Wu Lingyu would attack him. It happened so suddenly that his defense was a little late and he was hit by the remaining energy. Lingyu? The shock on his face was so obvious that he had never thought of this situation. I won't kill her. Wu Lingyu said. You dare to go against my will. Xiao Yunxiao said coldly. Wu Lingyu set up a spirit barrier and surrounded the entire manor. The people inside could not leave. Xiao Yunxiao saw that he had set up a spirit barrier and knew that he was serious. He did not plan to let anyone here go. He knew that Wu Lingyu's spirit barrier was very powerful, but he did not think that it was that serious. Because in his mind Wu Lingyu was not that powerful. His betrayal was just an impulsive act. You want to betray me? He flew into the air and stared at Wu Lingyu. Do you know the consequences of doing this? What consequences can there be? Wu Lingyu said, you should regret that you didn't bring more people with you. As he said that, he flew up and attacked Xiao Yunxiao. I nurtured you for so many years and this is how you repay me? Xiao Yunqing was furious. Nurture? You nurtured me for so many years, wasn't it to cultivate a good body for yourself? Wu Lingyu said, the more powerful I am, the more powerful you will be in the future. You really wanted to nurture me, that's why you gave me so many resources and treated me so well. Do you think you can believe that? What nonsense are you talking about? Xiao Yunxiao said coldly, of course I did so much for you. Is that so? Wu Lingyu sneered, then what about the pill you gave me? Last time you used the excuse of checking my body to attack my soul. What about that? If I had eaten the pills you gave me all these years, you would have succeeded that day, right? Sima Yue was shocked. Xiao Yunxiao had already done something to him? You know all about it? This time it was Xiao Yunxiao's turn to be shocked. He always thought that he was very secretive and no one would know about it. Your lifespan is coming to an end, but you can't break through. So you wanted to find someone to nurture for you to use in the future. When you heard that my soul was incomplete, you felt that your chance had come. So you personally went to the Divine Devil Valley to take me away. You gave me the best resources for so many years, allowing me to continuously improve my strength. You did so much, wasn't it so that you could become stronger after you took over my body? It was rare for Wu Lingyu to say so much. Seeing that he had nurtured him objectively, he was willing to let him know the reason behind his death. When did you know? Xiao Yunxiao asked. I knew from the start. Wu Lingyu said, but since you gave me such good conditions, I naturally had to work harder. So you didn't eat the pill I gave you from the start. Xiao Yunxiao said, so when I entered your body the last time, your soul attacked me. That's right. Wu Lingyu said, but there's another reason that you can't think of. What reason? That is, my soul has already been found and fused successfully. I have a complete soul now. You can't have any ideas about my body anymore. Wu Lingyu condensed black spirit energy on his left hand and white spirit energy on his right hand as he smiled evilly. What? How is that possible? Xiao Yunxiao couldn't believe it. The world was so big. How small was the probability of an incomplete soul meeting the other half of his soul? But seeing the black spirit energy on his hand, he couldn't help but believe it. Because the previous Wu Lingyu didn't have this at all. Wu Lingyu's thoughts moved. The two spirit energies turned into a black dragon and a white qilin. The two transformed spirit beasts attacked Xiao Yunxiao at the same time. Xiao Yunxiao's strength wasn't low. If not, he wouldn't have been able to become the pavilion master of the Sage Pavilion. He quickly used his spirit techniques to fight against Wu Lingyu's transformed spirit beasts. Sima Yue looked at the spirit beasts running around the house. She realized that among the two spirit beasts that Wu Lingyu had, the white qilin was slightly weaker while the black dragon was much stronger. It was just the power of the soul, but it had such strength. How strong was Mo Sha when he was alive? Chapter 1029. Xiao Yunxiao scattered the white qilin, but was hit by the black dragon's tail, causing him to spit out a mouthful of blood. He wiped the blood off and ran out of the house. Wu Lingyu quickly chased after him. Sima Yue followed him out. The two of them had already fought from the ground to the sky. Because of the enchantment, they were not very high up in the sky. Sima Yue quickly used a spatial seal to seal the surrounding space. She could not participate in a battle of their strength. She sealed the space to prevent herself from being implicated. She saw the ruthlessness on Wu Lingyu's face. This was something that Wu Lingyu's soul did not have. Only Mo Sha would be so bloodthirsty. That's right, that aura was like that of the Dark Emperor. It was definitely not something that Wu Lingyu had. Xiao Yunxiao also noticed the difference. After being defeated by Wu Lingyu, he held his bleeding chest and said, "You're not Lingyu. Who are you?" "The person who will take your life." Wu Lingyu said. "You can't kill me." Xiao Yunxiao was shocked by Wu Lingyu's aura. "Have you forgotten? If you kill me, the entire Sage Pavilion will know that you killed me. You will be hunted down by the entire Sage Pavilion." Wu Lingyu's hands paused. He remembered that every pavilion master had a mark on them. If they were killed, the mark would broadcast the scene of their death. This way everyone would know who killed them. Xiao Yunxiao saw that Wu Lingyu had stopped and knew that he was afraid of this. He said, "Lingyu, you are my favorite disciple. I spent so much effort to nurture you. I have long treated you like a family member. If you let me go today, I can pretend that nothing happened tonight. Otherwise, if you kill me, you will become the Sage Pavilion's public enemy." "You're right. I can't kill you," Wu Lingyu said. Xiao Yunxiao's heart relaxed. He felt that his life was saved. But before he could rejoice, a huge mouth appeared behind him. With a suck, he was swallowed by the mouth. Xiao Yunxiao was sucked into his mouth without any resistance. He only let out a scream before he disappeared. As soon as the mouth closed, the space immediately returned to normal. It was impossible to tell that a bloody mouth had appeared here. Sima Yue stared at Wu Lingyu dumbfounded. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. A blood-curdling scream came from another part of the manor. Soon after, blood-curdling screams came from other places as well, accompanied by the sound of blood spurting out. "Senior brother." She could feel a dense dark aura. The aura was so dense that it seemed to envelop the entire villa. Wu Lingyu flew down. He hadn't completely retracted his aura yet, giving people a sense of endless pressure. Sima Yue undid the spatial seal and looked at him saying, "What was that just now?" Although Wu Lingyu had just experienced a great disaster, there was not a single drop of blood on his body, and his clothes were not wrinkled. "You scared me." Wu Lingyu reached out and patted his face. Her voice was harsher than usual, but it was still gentle. "It's a little too sudden," Sima Yue said. "What were those things?" "They were my spirit beasts in the past," Wu Lingyu said. "Your spirit beasts, how can they still be alive?" Sima Yue cried out. "Secret technique," Wu Lingyu said. "Spirit beasts that have lived for so many years. That kind of power," Sima Yue said in disbelief. "The devil world has such powerful spirit beasts. What if they want to do to the human world? Great disaster in the human world." Wu Lingyu's aura slowly calmed down, saying, "Since the devil world has such creatures, the human world can do it too. The ghost world can too. This world is balanced. There won't be any world that is the strongest." Sima Yue pursed her lips. How many realms was there in this world that she didn't know about? "Didn't you say that you wanted the elders to help? Why did you use the devil world spirit beasts in the end?" she asked in confusion. "I forgot that he had the Sage Pavilion's imprint," Wu Lingyu said. "How could you forget such a big thing?" Sima Yue couldn't believe it and stared at his eyes. Wu Lingyu couldn't hide from her stare and said helplessly, "Recently, I've been feeling dizzy and forgetting some things. But I'll be fine after a while." Sima Yue grabbed his hand. When did this happen? A while ago. Not too long ago. Wu Lingyu said. Have you fainted? Yes. Wu Lingyu wanted to lie to her once, but seeing her concerned look, he changed his mind. What? You've already fainted. When did this happen? A few days ago. Wu Lingyu said. But it's only been a day. Don't worry. A day and you're not worried? Sima Yue said coldly. Why didn't you tell me? It's not that I didn't have time. Wu Lingyu said. Alright, we'll talk about this later. Let's talk about this first. Sima Yue knew that this was his way of diverting her attention, but the situation was more serious now. They had to deal with this first. With such a dense demonic aura, I think those people will be here soon. We have to leave this place first. Sima Yue said. Wu Lingyu removed the barrier and the two of them quickly left the place. After flying into the air, Sima Yue looked down and saw a lot of blood and broken limbs. After they left, the people of Cloud Sea City rushed over. The dense demonic aura shocked them. What's going on? Such dense demonic aura, there must have been a demonic expert here just now. Go find out what happened here. Yes, Alliance leader. Some of the powers from the inner regions also came. The demonic aura here made them unable to stay calm. They ordered, quickly inform the clan something big happened here. Go see if there's anything left here. Elder, there are only a few broken limbs here. There's no complete corpse. Have you found out who they are? Xia Chang Tian asked. This is the manor of the Sage Pavilion. Where's Xiao Yun Xiao? He's not in the city. The city guard said. The city guard said that he left the city at night. He should be here. But there's no sign of him. Xia Chang Tian said. Where's Wu Lingyu? He's not here either. I heard that he left the city not long ago. The guest elder is with him too. Yue left the city too. Xia Chang Tian shouted. It was impossible for them not to know that such a big thing had happened to the Sage Pavilion. If they didn't appear here, it could only mean one thing. Something had happened to them. Heavens, what happened? Just as everyone was worried, Wu Lingyu's voice sounded. Everyone looked over and saw him and Sima Yue flying over from afar. This book came from book #web/. Chapter 1030. Seeing Sima Yue walking over, Xia Chang Tian and Zhao Xiangqi heaved a sigh of relief. Why are you guys here? Xia Chang Tian asked. I got first place, so senior brother came to celebrate with me. When he heard about what had happened outside the city, he said that he wanted to go and take a look to see if he could find anything. We had to meet Pavilion Master Xiao outside the city this morning, so we went there last night, Sima Yue explained. Luckily you guys didn't come late at night. Xia Chang Tian said. What's going on here? Why is there such a strong devil chi? Sima Yue asked in surprise. We haven't found out the reason yet, but it's definitely not a small matter. Gao Jihong said. Where's the Pavilion Master? Wu Lingyu asked anxiously. He arrived here last night. We didn't find him. Xia Chang Tian said, we found some broken corpses but he wasn't among them. I'll go and contact the pavilion, Wu Lingyu said as he walked to the side. Soon the space tunnel opened and a group of people came out. What surprised Sima Yue was that Nalan Lan was also among them. Nalan Lan was also surprised when she saw Sima Yue. Then she looked away coldly as if she didn't know her at all. When Sima Yue saw her, she could not help but recall the time when she was struck by lightning and had to escape. Her lips curled into a faint smile. Your Highness Holy Sun. The people from the Sage Pavilion bowed to Wu Lingyu. Now that Xiao Yunxiao was no longer around, he was the one with the most authority. Left emissary, have you brought the item? Wu Lingyu asked. Here it is. Ning Tai took out the box and handed it to Wu Lingyu with both hands. Wu Lingyu opened the box. Inside was a broken life card. Holy Sun please, Ning Tai said. Wu Lingyu nodded and condensed a ball of white spirit energy. The ball of spirit energy wrapped around the life tablet, and the life tablet immediately emitted a white light. The scene of Xiao Yunxiao's death appeared in front of everyone's eyes. At the same time, the Sage Pavilion's main pavilion in the inner regions as well as the other pavilions had the same scene. What is this? Ning Tai cried out. How could this be? They originally thought that there would be a ferocious beast that killed the pavilion master, but all they saw was darkness. There was nothing. It was as if he had been killed in a dark space. It looks like it's inside some spirit beast's body. Zhao Xiangqi said. It should be some kind of magical beast. Xia Chang Tian said, maybe it's an almighty from the devil realm.
The other people in the Sage Pavilion also noticed that there were still remnants of the Devil Clan's aura. Why would a demon realm expert suddenly appear here? Wu Lingyu asked. I'm not sure yet. We can only continue to investigate. Xiachang Tian said, Zhihong, you guys continue to investigate here. Let's finish the final round of the competition first. Today was the last match of the first group. Everyone was already waiting in the arena. In order not to cause too much panic, they had to continue the match. Xiachang Tian and Zhao Xiangqi left the villa and returned to Cloud Sea City. The others stayed behind to continue looking for clues. In order to accompany Wu Lingyu, Sima Yue also stayed behind. I really didn't think that you would still be alive. Nalan Lan came to Sima Yue's side and said faintly. I really didn't think that you would still be alive. Sima Yue replied. I heard that you won first place in the alchemy competition. That's really surprising. Nalan Lan said, looking at you now, it's really hard to link you with the trash from before. Looking at you now pretending to be pure and holy, it's also hard to link you with the vicious and merciless person you used to be. Sima Yue said, but speaking of which, you used to like to pretend to be a white lotus in front of others. You're still as annoying as before. Nalan Lan said. You too. Sima Yue replied. Nalan Lan looked at Sima Yue. After not seeing her for so many years, this girl had become even more eloquent. Don't look at me like that. Don't think that I'll forget how you worked with others to kill me in the Yilin continent. Sima Yue stared back at her. Nalan Lan laughed saying, so? Do you think that you can kill me now? Do you think that I can't? Sima Yue laughed evilly. Do you think that with the protection of the Sage Pavilion, you can sit back and relax? You're wrong. I've never worried. Nalan Lan said, only I can kill you. You can't kill me. Sima Yue played with the illusion ring in her hand. She wondered if she should kill her here and use her actions to slap her face. Lan, come here. Ning Tai called Nalan Lan from the side. Ning Tai's voice suppressed Sima Yue's impulse. If she killed Nalan Lan here, she would be harassed by the Sage Pavilion. She didn't have the time to go against them now. Yes, left emissary Ning. Nalan Lan replied, then said to Sima Yue, I can see the murderous intent in your eyes. But, let's wait and see. We'll see who's the one who kills who. After speaking, she didn't wait for Sima Yue to reply and went to Ning Tai. Lan, you know that guy? I used to know him, is that so? Come here, I have something to tell you. Okay. Sima Yue watched Nalan Lan leave and muttered, alright, let's wait and see. The people from the guild and the Pill subdivision searched the mountain villa for an entire day but didn't find anything. The people from the Sage Pavilion didn't find anything either. Everyone worked for nothing. That night, people from the sect in Divine Devil Valley came to look for her. Go back with them first. We still need to settle things here for a few days. Wu Lingyu said. Sima Yue looked at the anxious group and knew that things here wouldn't be easy to settle. It wasn't good for an outsider like her to be here. She nodded and went out of the villa. Han Miao Shuang, Su Xiao and Ying Bai Chuan were waiting for her outside. Senior brother, senior sister, senior brother Ying, why are you here? Sima Yue went forward and asked. Han Miao Shuang and the others saw her coming out and sized her up. Junior brother, are you okay? I'm fine. I wasn't here when it happened. Sima Yue said. What's going on here? Why did the Devil Clan suddenly appear? Ying Bai Chuan asked. Sima Yue looked around and said, let's talk when we get back. It was so chaotic here. Some things weren't suitable to be said here. Han Miao Shuang and the others understood. Ying Bai Chuan said, you've been out for so long. Master heard the news and was worried about you, so he asked us to bring you back. Instructor Mao too. When he heard the news that something happened outside and you were outside, the air pressure almost froze us to death. Han Miao Shuang said. Then let's go back. Chapter 1031. After getting on the flying beast, Han Miao Shuang couldn't wait to ask. Little junior brother, what happened there? Sima Yue looked at her curious expression and said, why are you so curious? I heard that the Almighty from the Devil Realm came. Han Miao Shuang said. Did something happen to the Sage Pavilion? Ying Bai Chuan asked. Yeah, it said that Xiao Yunxiao was eaten by a powerful being from the Devil Realm. Sima Yue said. Did someone see it? Su Xiaoxiao asked. Sima Yue shook her head and nodded. What does this mean? Han Miao Shuang imitated her and shook her head and nodded. No one saw it at that time, but we all saw the last thing he saw before he died. Sima Yue said. Sage Pavilion's secret technique? Ying Bai Chuan asked. Yes. Sima Yue said, Senior brother, we used a secret technique to let us see the last scene of him before he died. It should be inside the body of the great demon. It's really the devil clan? Han Miao Shuang blinked twice. She couldn't believe it, but there was a trace of excitement on her face. Sima Yue looked at her helplessly and said, Why are you so excited? Aren't you afraid of being killed by the Almighty of the Devil Realm? Almighty? Why would an Almighty care about small fries like us? Han Miao Shuang said, I've never seen an Almighty from the Devil Realm in my life. If I can compare the differences between them and us. If you really did, you wouldn't be so calm. Sima Yue said, Did anything interesting happen in today's pill competition? There is. Han Miao Shuang said, I wanted to tell you a long time ago, but I forgot about the Almighty from the Devil Realm. What happened? Sima Yue asked. Jiang Junxian, that guy. What happened to eldest senior brother? When the competition started today, the Jiang family found out that his name was on the name list, so they made a scene. In the end, that guy changed back to his original appearance in front of everyone and even scolded the Jiang family. The Jiang family originally wanted to take him away, but Shi Qianji brought people out, and the Jiang family members were beaten up. Han Miao Shuang said, After that guy got the 5th place in the alchemy competition. The Jiang family was so angry that they almost vomited blood because Kang Junchul didn't even enter the top 10. That's why this is the best way to slap his face, Sima Yue said. Isn't it? You didn't see it. When the Jiang family saw his final results, their faces were full of regret and unwillingness. Their expressions were so funny. Han Miao Shuang said with a smile. I think they went to look for him. They probably want him to return to the family, said Su Xiao. Then they will be disappointed. Sima Yue smiled. Isn't that so? Han Miao Shuang said, You abandoned him like that back then, and now you want him to go back just like that? With that guy's temper, it would be merciful if he didn't exterminate the Jiang family. Agreed. Su Xiao said. That Jiang Junxian is really strong. Ying Baichuan also saw the farce in the day and said, It's normal for the Jiang family to feel regret. Unfortunately, there's no medicine for regret in this world. Sima Yue said, Have you talked to him? With who? Jiang Junxian? Why do we have to talk to him? Han Miao Shuang scoffed. Master's life jade is still with him. Sima Yue said, We have to know if Master is still well. Something happened to Master, he will tell us. Su Xiao said. After we go back, let's talk to him. Sima Yue said, We have to ask him personally to be at ease. She also wanted to ask how the Sky Splitter Devil Sword was doing. They returned to Cloud Sea City and went to the inn. Other than Mao Sanquan, Liang Wu Ming was waiting there too. Senior Uncle Instructor Mao. Sima Yue walked in front of them like a child who did something wrong. Are you okay? Liang Wu Ming looked at her worriedly. I'm fine. Sima Yue said, We weren't there when it happened. But you were outside the city. Mao Sanquan said, How could you go outside the city alone? I didn't go alone. I went with senior brother. Sima Yue said softly. No matter what, it's good that she's back now. Liang Wu Ming said. You go and rest first. Mao Sanquan said, Before the situation outside stabilizes, all of you stay here. No one is allowed to go out. Do you understand? After he finished speaking, he even glared at Sima Yue. It was as if he said that just for her. Instructor Mao, the situation outside is still unclear. But we can confirm that there's an Almighty from the Devil Realm. Wouldn't it be too dangerous for you to go out? Su Xiao said worriedly. We still have to investigate. Mao Sanquan said, If we weren't waiting for you, we would have already gathered at the guild and other forces. It's fine if we aren't clear about the Devil Realm. But since we've met here, we have no reason to retreat. Mao Sanquan said. Then you guys be careful. Sima Yue knew that the Almighty was just something created by Wu Lingyu. There wasn't any danger, so she wasn't worried about them going out. Han Miao Shuang and Su Xiao heard her say that and knew that there shouldn't be any danger outside. They weren't worried either. Ying Baichuan left with Liang Wu Ming. Sima Yue and Han Miao Shuang returned to their own houses. Sima Yue came to the house, set up a spirit barrier and entered the spirit pagoda. You didn't even ask me to go out for such a fun thing. Little Seven started complaining when she saw her. That's right. I haven't gone out for a long time. Little Roar flew over and pounced into Sima Yue's arms. There were many people in the central region who saw you. If someone recognized you, it would be troublesome. Sima Yue said. Sigh, I'll go find Crimson Flame and learn how to disguise myself. I'll change my appearance when I go out. This way, no one will be able to recognize me. Little Roar said helplessly. If you really learn it, I'll bring you out to play. Sima Yue said. Okay. Little Roar's figure flashed and disappeared. Yu, why did you come in? Little Seven asked. I came to check some information. Sima Yue thought, and she and Little Seven went to the library. What information are you checking? Little Seven looked at the endless bookshelves and asked curiously. Senior brother said that he had already fainted once. Although he was only unconscious for a day, I feel that the situation is very serious. I have to do some research and see if there are any records of this situation in the ancient books. Sima Yue said. There are so many books. How long will it take you to find them? Little Seven casually took a book and flipped through it. Take your time. We'll find them eventually. Sima Yue said. I have to find them too. Chapter 1032. Sima Yue stayed in the Spirit Pagoda for more than a month. She asked all the people and spirit beasts in the Spirit Pagoda to search together. Finally, they found a book about spirit fusion. You guys keep looking. I'll see if this book has the content I'm looking for. Sima Yue sat on the ground with the book and started reading. The book was very thin. Sima Yue read it carefully and finished it in less than half a day. There were some conditions for soul fusion, but for the current situation it was useless. Very quickly, in the same area, Little Seven and the rest found a few more books about soul fusion. Sima Yue read them one by one and finally found a book with a similar situation. In the book, there was a person whose situation was similar to Wu Lingyu's. There was a mistake during the soul fusion which resulted in the soul and body not fusing completely. Periodically, his memory would be confused, his strength would weaken, and he would fall into a deep sleep. Then he would return to normal, weaken again, and repeat until the soul and body fused completely. The last page of the book said that the only way to solve this situation was to fuse the soul and the body as soon as possible. However, there was no record of how to make the soul fuse as quickly as possible. After that, they didn't find any useful books. Fortunately, the book mentioned that there was no need to worry about such a situation. It was only a matter of time before the soul and body merged. After flipping through all the books in the area, Sima Yue gave up on searching. This situation was as unbelievable as her soul transmigrating. It was already difficult to find a few books. If there wasn't even this area, then there was probably nothing left. You don't have to worry. Didn't the book say that his situation isn't too serious? As long as his soul and body fuse, everything will be fine. Little Seven comforted. I know. I'm just thinking, what if his strength decreases when he's in danger? Sima Yue said worriedly. However, she felt that her worries were unnecessary when she thought of the powerful being from the devil realm who was following him. Even if there was a dangerous situation, that magical beast would not let anything happen to him. She brought Little Seven outside, and it had only been 7 or 8 days since the appearance of the demons. All the forces were still searching outside. They wanted to find some clues, but they were destined to return empty-handed. How could they find such a powerful magical beast just because they wanted to? Everyone was also puzzled. The supreme being from the devil world seemed to have suddenly appeared and disappeared. No one else had been eaten by him. It seemed to have only appeared to kill Xiao Yunxiao. After continuously investigating for half a month, there were no clues at all. Everyone could only call it a day and return to the city. The alchemy competition had already ended, and some forces returned home one after another. As those people left, the news of Sima Yue's elixir competition spread throughout the entire continent. Many people admired her from the bottom of their hearts after hearing her story. On this day when she was cultivating, she found that the power of faith in her body was constantly increasing, and the speed was very fast. She was so scared that she quickly withdrew from her cultivation state. Shit. The power is getting stronger and stronger. Sima Yue was both anxious and frustrated. It was a heaven-defying power, but she could not use it. She had to think of a way to suppress it. It's really... sigh. She sighed and began to absorb the dark energy in the air to achieve balance in her body. After Mao Sanquan was done with the guild's matters, the heavenly sect was also about to return home. Sima Yue went to meet Liang Wu Ming, and the Divine Devil Valley was also about to leave Cloud Sea City. Junior Valley Master. When the people from the Divine Devil Valley saw her, they bowed respectfully. Some of them had never seen Sima Yue before, and had some reservations towards her who came from the lower realm. They felt that she was not worthy to be their Junior Valley Master. This alchemy competition had really made them look at her in a new light. Where's Martial Uncle? Sima Yue asked.
He's inside talking to the Dragon King. Foster father is here too? Sima Yue was a little surprised. Yes. Sima Yue went to the living room and saw Liang Wu Ming, Wu La Mai and Shui Qing Man chatting happily. Foster father, foster mother, martial uncle. Yue is here. Shui Qing Man went forward and pulled her hand, pulling her to sit beside her. Foster mother, have you been happy recently? Sima Yue smiled and asked. It's quite fun. Shui Qing Man said, we were just talking about going to the Divine Devil Valley to play for a few days. Can I go? Foster mother's body is much better now, and the fetus is developing very well too. You don't have to inject spiritual energy daily for maintenance. You can go and play if you want to. Sima Yue said. Really? King, did you hear that? You said that I can go and play. Shui Qing Man happily raised her chin at Wu La Mai. Since you want to go, then go. Wu La Mai had no immunity to her, so he agreed helplessly. Martial uncle, when are you going back? Sima Yue asked. Tomorrow. Liang Wu Ming said, in a few months there will be a competition in the valley. As the junior valley master, it's best that you can attend. I know. Sima Yue nodded. I talked to instructor Mao last night. I can graduate anytime now. But he said that I can leave my student status in the academy and I can come out. That's good. Liang Wu Ming said, then remember to come back before the competition. It's a good opportunity for everyone to see what their junior valley master looks like. Okay. On the second day, the Heavenly Sect and Divine Devil Valley left the city together. After going down the highlands, everyone left separately. After Sima Yue returned to the academy, she found an excuse to go out and send Third Mo out. Thank you so much this time. Third Mo thanked her. You don't have to be so courteous with me. Sima Yue said, I will help you look for those herbs. If I find them, I will contact you. If there's anything else you need my help with, you have to let me know. Sima Yue said. I will. Third Mo cupped his hands towards her and turned to leave. When Sima Yue returned to the academy, everyone knew that she got first place in the alchemy competition, and worshipped her even more. Sima Yue finally returned to Parting Garden. Han Miao Shuang and the rest were already waiting for her inside. But the two of them had a complicated expression on their faces. What happened? Sima Yue asked. Su Xiao passed the letter in front of him to Sima Yue. Sima Yue was shocked when she saw it. Jiang clan's people who went to Cloud Sea City were all killed? Eldest senior brother and the rest did it? Su Xiao said, it says that only Shi Qianji has the poison in Kang Junshul. Now Jiang clan has already given the order to prepare to fight to the death with them. Sima Yue skimmed through the contents of the letter and frowned. Why do I feel that something is fishy? What's fishy? Han Miao Shuang asked. Chapter 1033. Sima Yue placed the paper on the table and pointed at it with her slender finger. Look at this. If eldest senior brother wanted to take revenge, he wouldn't have chosen to use poison. Moreover, he would only use poison on Kang Junshul. Maybe he wants him to suffer the pain of being poisoned before he dies. Han Miao Shuang said. Will the eldest senior brother do that? Sima Yue asked. Han Miao Shuang was stunned, then she shook her head and said, no. If he really wanted to poison Kang Junshul, he wouldn't have chosen such a strong poison. He would have definitely chosen a slow one to let him slowly experience the pain of death. So, this poison seems to be deliberately telling others that Kang Junshul was poisoned to death by him. Sima Yue said, look at the later results. The Jiang family and the Black Dragon sect are fighting. Little Seven said, I understand. Someone must have wanted them to fight on purpose. That's why they did this. Recently, the middle region has been very turbulent. Coupled with what happened before the alchemy competition, we can't rule out this possibility. Sima Yue said, now that we've encountered these things, we have to think more about it. It does make sense to think that way. Han Miao Shuang said, those people who wanted to stir up trouble used the hatred between Jiang Junxian and the Jiang family to drag the two forces into the water. Then what should we do? Little Seven asked. What are we doing? These things have nothing to do with us. Han Miao Shuang said. Everyone fell silent. This was indeed not something that they could do anything about. Little junior brother, I'm hungry. Let's make something to eat. I haven't eaten your cooking in a long time. Han Miao Shuang looked at Sima Yue expectantly. Sure. Sima Yue put this matter to the back of her mind and took out the ingredients to prepare a good meal for everyone.
What they didn't know was that, because of this battle, the news of the Black Dragon cult possessing the Sky Splitter Devil Sword had spread out. Instantly, a bloodbath was set off in the inner area, and the Black Dragon cult was almost annihilated. Fortunately, at the last moment, Shirchio Shuang threw out the Sky Splitter Devil Sword. Those who came to besiege the Black Dragon cult started to fight among themselves. Everyone stopped attacking the Black Dragon cult and changed their target to snatching the Devil Sword. Sima Yue and the rest did not know about what had happened in the inner region. She had been living a relaxed life for the past few months, mainly focusing on her cultivation. She urgently needed to increase her strength. Only with strength would she have the right to speak. She had been stuck at the primary God Emperor level for several years. Recently, she vaguely felt an opportunity to break through. Since she had nothing urgent to do in the past few months, she seized the time to cultivate in seclusion, intending to break through in one go. She found a lot of spirit stones in the spirit pagoda and began to absorb the spirit energy inside. Time passed day by day. Sima Yue kept absorbing in the spirit pagoda until her body was full of spirit energy. Then, she came out of the spirit pagoda and controlled the energy in her body to break through the barrier. Once, twice, thrice. Sima Yue did not know how many times she had tried. Perhaps it was thousands or tens of thousands of times. Under her perseverance, the invisible barrier was finally broken through. Spirit energy instantly flowed through her body. Star marks appeared. A large amount of spirit energy poured into her body from the sky, forming a spirit energy whirlpool above her house. What's going on? The people in the school were alarmed and looked over. Someone is breaking through. That's the location of the parting garden. I wonder who among them has broken through. Normally, a breakthrough wouldn't cause such a big commotion. Look, tribulation clouds. Someone noticed the tribulation clouds in the sky and shouted. Why would a breakthrough trigger a lightning tribulation? Could it be a transformation of a spirit beast? It's not a transformation of a spirit beast. The transformation lightning tribulation is different from this kind of lightning tribulation. Look, that's Sima Yue. When Sima Yue flew into the sky, those people immediately recognized her. It's actually her who is undergoing the tribulation. Oh my God, she didn't prepare at all. Is she planning to undergo the tribulation directly? Don't worry. If it's her, she will definitely be able to pass the tribulation. Sima Yue looked at the crowd of students outside and felt helpless. She originally wanted to find a remote place when she was about to break through. However, because she absorbed too much spirit energy from the spirit stone in the spirit pagoda, she was on the verge of breaking through. If she gave up, she was afraid that she would have to waste a lot of energy. Therefore, she came outside to break through and did not have time to avoid the crowd. Now she was being looked at like a gorilla. She had only broken through one level this time, so the lightning tribulation was not considered big. In the words of the top-grade purple lightning, it was not even enough to fill her stomach. After the lightning tribulation was ready, it struck towards Sima Yue. Sima Yue stopped in the air. Seeing the lightning strike down, she did not intend to dodge and allowed the lightning to strike her directly. Those timid students were so scared that they immediately closed their eyes. As soon as the lightning touched her body, it was absorbed by the top-grade purple lightning, leaving no trace on her body. He absorbed it? Someone was so shocked that he stuttered. She did use lightning-attributed spiritual energy in the last ranking competition, but no one has ever been able to directly absorb the lightning tribulation. She's too heaven-defying. She's absorbing the lightning. Someone in the crowd looked at Sima Yue with a sinister look in his eyes. So, the person the family wanted to investigate was her. The cloud spirit looked at Sima Yue from the calamity cloud and felt defeated again. Why can't this guy die? Even if she couldn't kill him, she could at least cripple him. This feeling of giving her a big meal was really not good at all. After the 27 lightning strikes, the cloud spirit floated away. It felt that it did not want to see her for the time being. Sima Yue passed through the lightning tribulation unscathed. This made the students in the sect scream. They had never seen such a fierce person. It was a pity that she returned to the parting garden after passing through the lightning tribulation. They had no way to get close to her. With your actions, I'm afraid the entire sect will be bustling for a few days. Han Miao Shuang said. Accident. Sima Yue shrugged. This was really unexpected. Congratulations on your successful advancement. Su Xiaoxiao was happy for Sima Yue. Thank you, senior. So, when do you plan to leave? Han Miao Shuang asked. They all knew that she was only here to advance. Now that she had succeeded, the Divine Devil Valley had something to do and she had to leave sooner or later. In 2 days.
I'll stabilize my realm first. Sima Yue said. That's good too. If you go out now, you'll definitely be surrounded by those students. Han Miao Shuang said. And I have to tell Instructor Mao and the others. Sima Yue said. She did not know when she would be back after leaving the sect. She could not leave quietly. At least she had to inform the sect. A few days later, she went to Mao Sanquan's office. Chapter 1034. Mao Sanquan was not surprised by Sima Yue's arrival. Has your realm stabilized? He put down the paper in his hand and asked. Yes, it's stable now. Sima Yue said. Then you came here today to prepare to leave? Mao Sanquan asked. Yes. You are leaving too? Mao Sanquan looked at Little Seven. Wherever you goes, I will go. Little Seven said without hesitation. Then your main body should stay here. I will follow you. Little Seven said. Mao Sanquan heaved a sigh of relief. If she wanted to take away her main body, then the advantage of cultivating in the inner courtyard would be gone. Since you've decided, I won't keep you. Mao Sanquan said, but Yue, you have to be careful when you go out. What's wrong? Sima Yue asked. There's news coming from the outside. Someone recognized you as the person who triggered the lightning tribulation and killed many people in the dark forest. Right now, many powers have issued the order to kill you. Mao Sanquan said. It seems that my ascension to the heavenly tribulation last time caused people to link it to the dark forest. Sima Yue said, but it's not surprising. They're all students of the school and they can all pass the lightning tribulations. It's easy to guess. Now that the people outside know the truth, you have to be more careful when you're outside. Although you're quite famous now, some forces won't give up because of this. Mao Sanquan reminded him, fortunately your current power is not bad and there are so many people protecting you, so it's good that you go out and explore. Just remember to be careful. The academy has always been protecting me. For so many years they have been pressured by those forces. Now that they know it's me, the academy doesn't have to bear that pressure anymore. Sima Yue said. You are our student, protecting you is what we should do. Mao Sanquan said, the academy is proud to have produced a student like you. Thank you, Director Mao, Sima Yue said gratefully. When do you plan to leave? Mao Sanquan asked. In a few days, Sima Yue said, I still have something to settle outside. I'll leave once I'm done. Take this. If you and Little Seven encounter any danger, you can return to the school immediately. Mao Sanquan took out a box and passed it to Sima Yue. Sima Yue took it and opened it. When she saw the array stones inside, she felt warm inside. Was he saying that no matter what the situation was, the academy would always be her strong backing? If the academy needs me in the future, I will definitely rush back. Sima Yue said. Yes, go ahead. I'll come back when I have time. Mao Sanquan said. I will. Sima Yue nodded. She had originally planned to leave directly, but after knowing that someone was chasing after her, she decided to leave from the outside. A few days later, she went to Memory Restaurant with Han Miao Shuang and the others. They found a seat in the hall and ordered a table full of dishes. Little junior brother, are you really leaving? Han Miao Shuang asked. Yes, I've already settled most of the things outside. I'd rather walk around instead of continuing to cultivate here. Sima Yue said, besides, I've been here for so long and haven't gone to the valley to take a look. I should go back for the competition this time. Yes, it's good to go to the central region. It's more suitable for people to cultivate there. Su Xiaoxiao said. You guys are in the academy. If Master sends any news back, you must inform me. Sima Yue said. Don't worry. Nothing will happen if you leave like this, right? Han Miao Shuang said worriedly. What can happen? Sima Yue said, would they dare to come and kill me? If they really come, I'll make sure they don't return. If they know that you went to the inner region, they won't put pressure on the academy. But will they vent their anger on the Divine Devil Valley? Su Xiaoxiao asked. They won't dare to touch the Divine Devil Valley. Sima Yue said, the Divine Devil Valley's influence is too wide. They won't dare to go against the Divine Devil Valley openly. At most, they'll try to kill me when I go out. Anyone with a brain wouldn't make an enemy out of you. Su Xiaoxiao said. That's right. First place in the alchemy competition, contract master of the King of Rocks, junior valley master of the Divine Devil Valley, and an array master. No matter how you look at it, it's better to be on good terms with you. Han Miao Shuang said. There will always be those who don't have eyes. Sima Yue's lips curled into an evil smile, or perhaps you're trying in vain to strangle me in the cradle before I grow up. As she spoke, she looked outside. The gaze from there disappeared instantly. After eating and drinking to their fill, Han Miao Shuang and the others sent Sima Yue out reluctantly. You guys can go back. Sima Yue said to Su Xiao Xiao and the others. Yes, remember to contact us if there's anything. Han Miao Shuang said. I will. Sima Yue replied. Han Miao Shuang and Su Xiao Xiao returned to the city. Sima Yue held Little Seven's hand and continued to walk towards the outskirts. There's such a strong murderous aura. Little Seven stopped and looked around. Yes, someone followed us all the way. Sima Yue said, we're already very far away from Heavenly City. Are you guys not planning to show yourself? You're indeed very sensitive. A figure flew over quickly and landed behind Sima Yue and the others. At the same time, people flew over from all directions and surrounded Sima Yue and Little Seven. Sima Yue looked at their clothes. They were all dressed in black. She couldn't tell which force they were from. Are you guys dressed like this because you're afraid that I'll find out who's after me? She said faintly. Go. Those people didn't talk nonsense with her. They attacked immediately. Little Seven went up to meet them, and those people who were attacking her were all blocked by her. You know what, you shouldn't have followed us here. Sima Yue smiled at those people. Then she injected some spirit energy into the ground. A huge spirit barrier enveloped everyone inside. Array? Those people didn't expect her to set up an array here. That's right. Sima Yue said, I specially prepared this for you guys yesterday. I said before that you guys shouldn't have followed me here. This is the dragon trapping array that I've improved. Enjoy the last of the sacred palace. After speaking, she pulled Little Seven and left. Once they left, the dragon trapping array was activated. Those people were trapped inside. They couldn't even open a space tunnel. Piak! A bolt of lightning appeared out of nowhere and hit them from the sky to the ground. Piak! Piak! Lightning struck down one after another. This commotion attracted many people from Heavenly City. When those people rushed over, they only saw the group of people trapped in the array. In a one-time use array at the side, Sima Yue held Little Seven's hand. She smiled at them and disappeared in front of everyone's eyes. This book came from the website. Chapter 1035. What Sima Yue did before she left was like a blow to the head, hitting those people hard on the head. His momentary impulse was dispelled by this blow. She could casually kill the people who were besieging her without wasting her own spiritual energy. Wasn't it courting death to go against someone like her? Not to mention she had the entire bird clan as her backing. The forces that had sent people to kill Sima Yue had all called them back. The leader of the force that had been killed by Sima Yue rejoiced incomparably. It was a good thing that he had made them wear black clothes and she didn't know. It seemed that if he wanted to take revenge in the future, he could only resort to underhanded methods. He couldn't do it openly like this. After Sima Yue left Tianfu City, she didn't go to Divine Devil Valley directly. Instead, she went to Heartbreak Valley and brought out those who were willing to join the sect after being detoxified. Sister is back? Hearing that Sima Yue was back, Shimin Feng hurriedly put down his work and went out. He was in the middle of a discussion with the others. As soon as he left, the others stood up as well. The other people in the valley surrounded Sima Yue when they saw her. Vice Sect Leader, did you really get first place in the pill competition? Vice Sect Leader, how long can you stay this time? Vice Sect Leader, when are you going to show us your skills? Sima Yue was surrounded by them and she could not stand their enthusiasm. What are you all doing here? Go do whatever you need to do. Bai Sheng appeared and chided all of them back. After interacting with each other for such a long time, these people were still quite afraid of Bai Sheng. Once he roared, everyone retreated to the side. Finally, Yue could see the road ahead. Let's go in first. Bai Sheng said to Sima Yue. When Sima Yue arrived at the main hall of the sect, she happened to meet Shimin Feng, Feng Kai and the others. Elder sister. Feng. Boss. Boss, why are you back? Sima Yue smiled at them and said, let's go in and talk. All right. Sima Yue came to the seat next to Shimin Feng and sat down. Looking at the people sitting below, she said, thank you for your hard work these past few months. Boss, if you think we're working hard, then give us more benefits. With benefits, we'll be more motivated, right? It's not impossible to get benefits, but it depends on what you've achieved during this period of time. Sima Yue said, if you do well, you'll naturally receive benefits. If you don't, then your benefits will be deducted. It's a deal. Sima Yue did not really want to deduct their benefits because she knew that a newly established force would face many difficulties.
However, she did not expect them to be able to get the sect on the right track in such a short time. You guys have given me too many surprises, Sima Yue said. It seems that choosing you guys was the right choice. With boss's praise, our hard work didn't go to waste. And I said with a grin. What did boss come back for this time? Feng Ji asked. How did you know? Sima Yue raised her eyebrows. You always come back for something. Feng Kai said. Sima Yue smiled. There's indeed something. See. Feng Kai spread out his hands. What's the matter that requires you to come back personally? Bai Xing asked. Sima Yue explained the recent events simply. So, you're going to Divine Devil Valley? Shi Qin said. Well, it's time to go there. Sima Yue said, there's something going on in the valley. I'm going out too. Speaking of which, you haven't told us why you're back. Bai Xing said. I'm back this time to bring out those who want to come out of the little realm. Also, I want you guys to pay attention to the movements in the central region. I feel that the inner region has been restless recently and has been interfering with the central region. Sima Yue said, you guys have to be careful. Don't get involved in it now. We will be careful. Shimin Feng said. That's good. That night, Sima Yue brought those people out and handed them over to Bai Sheng to arrange. After that, she chatted with Shimin Feng alone and brought him to the Spirit Pagoda to meet Shimin Li. Shimin Li was still in seclusion, and the little monster in her body was still transforming. In its words, now that there were better resources, it could transform better, and it would be better for Shimin Li in the future, so they didn't rush it to transform. Sima Yu stayed in Heartbreak Valley for 3 days. After settling the matters that needed to be dealt with, she took Little Seven to Divine Devil Valley. They took a few teleportation arrays before arriving at the small town outside Divine Devil Valley. They could only go to Divine Devil Valley here. Sima Yue and Little Seven came to an inn. Once they entered, they realized that although the place was small, there were many people. But those people were very well behaved. Many burly men sat in the hall obediently. They didn't look as fierce as they usually did. Seeing them enter, everyone in the hall stared at them. Are you here to stay? The waiter walked over and asked arrogantly. Yes. Sima Yue said. 100 middle-grade crystals a night. The waiter quoted the price directly. So expensive. Little Seven exclaimed in astonishment. Expensive? The waiter glanced at them in disdain. Do you know where this is? This is the outer area of Divine Devil Valley. There are many people here. If you think it's expensive, you can go outside. You don't need to spend money there. What's with your attitude? Sima Yue's face darkened. Is this how you treat your guests? Yes? The waiter sneered. You think you're guests just because you're here? Since you're here to ask for our help, then don't put on airs. $150 a night. Do you want to stay or not? You're still raising the price. Little Seven rolled up her sleeves and wanted to teach them a lesson. But she was stopped by Sima Yue. At the same time, a few men came out from the back of the inn and surrounded Sima Yue and Little Seven. How dare you come to Divine Devil Valley and behave atrociously? Who do you think you are? The waiter hid behind those men and shouted at Sima Yue and the rest. You're all outer disciples of Divine Devil Valley? Even though she was surrounded by so many people, there was no fear on her face. That's right. We don't welcome you here now. Get out of here quickly. You're not allowed to come here anymore. A big man chased them away with a black face. What rights do you have to chase us away? Sima Yue sneered. Rights? You're asking us what rights do we have in Divine Devil Valley's territory? Haha, how can there be such a funny person like you? Everyone laughed and looked at Sima Yue as if they were looking at a freak. Little brat, this is Divine Devil Valley. If you have something to ask of them, don't go against them. Someone kindly reminded her. What if I say no? Sima Yue crossed her arms in front of her chest with a wicked smile on her face. This book came from Pin and Book #web. Chapter 1036. No? Chase the two of them out of town and blacklist them. Don't ever accept their jobs again. The waiter shouted. Let's see who dares. Sima Yue took a step forward and the aura she emitted stunned the disciples of Divine Devil Valley. She looked around the lobby and didn't see the shopkeeper. She said, Go call your shopkeeper out. You want to see our shopkeeper? Dream on. The waiter tugged at his sleeve and said, What are you guys still standing there for? Hurry up and throw them out. Arrogant and rude, bullying others with numbers. Today I will teach you all a good lesson. As Sima Yue spoke, her figure flashed. Everyone only saw a shadow flashing past their eyes before they saw the disciples being thrown out onto the street. How dare you? The waiter got up from the floor and pointed at Sima Yue. He was so angry that he couldn't even speak properly. He had stayed here for so many years and no matter who saw him they had to be respectful. He didn't expect that he would be beaten up by such a young boy today. Everyone at the scene was stunned. Sima Yue actually beat up someone from the Divine Devil Valley. This was going to be a good show. There were also people who felt sorry for Sima Yue because of her young age. Everyone who came here had a request from the Divine Devil Valley. Now that she had beaten up someone from the Divine Devil Valley, they would definitely not agree to her request. Young people are impulsive. By then it would be too late for regrets. Although they felt that the outer disciples of the Divine Devil Valley were sometimes too much. Come on, come on. Someone is causing trouble here. That waiter was still a little tactful. From Sima Yu's performance just now, he knew that the people in his shop would not be able to defeat her. With his shout, many people immediately ran out from the shops on both sides, surrounding the entrance of the inn so tightly that not even a drop of water could trickle through. Who dares to behave atrociously outside my Divine Devil Valley? A skinny and capable man walked out from the back of the crowd. When he saw Sima Yue and Little Seven, he placed one hand on his waist and pointed at them with the other, saying, "Are you the ones who beat up my Divine Devil Valley's disciples? So what if I am?" Sima Yue looked at him fearlessly. "Those who hurt my Divine Devil Valley's disciples, capture them and hand them over to the sect for punishment." The skinny man waved his hand and the people from Divine Devil Valley attacked them. This time there was no need for Sima Yue to do anything. Little Seven took down everyone in a few breaths. "I never knew that the Divine Devil Valley's disciples were so arrogant," Sima Yue said. "Bah, who are you? How dare you judge our Divine Devil Valley? I think the Valley Lord and the others don't know about this, right?" Although she didn't interact much with Liang Wu Ming, but she could tell that the people from Divine Devil Valley weren't arrogant and conceited people. We've already released the signal. Soon someone will come to capture you. Let's see how you're going to smile then." The waiter glared at Sima Yue. Seeing how calm she was, he felt uncomfortable. "Is that so? Then we'll wait here. When they come I'll ask them properly. Are they the ones who asked you to extort others or are you the ones who are insatiable?" Sima Yue took out 2 chairs and sat at the entrance of the inn with Little Seven to wait. They were so calm but the others weren't. The onlookers treated them as immature brats who didn't know the severity of the situation. They had already predicted the situation when the enforcement team came. Very quickly the enforcement team came. Sima Yue smiled when she saw the leader. The waiter and the rest smiled when they saw the enforcement team. Especially when they saw the leader, they smiled even more happily. "Captain Feng." The waiter tried to get up from the ground, but he fell back down after struggling for a while. "Captain Feng, you have to uphold justice for us. These 2 people beat us up the moment they came. They didn't even put our Divine Devil Valley in their eyes." After speaking, he glared fiercely at Sima Yue. With Feng Dong around, no matter how powerful she was, she could only wait to be captured. "That's right, Captain Feng. You have to uphold justice for us." The rest shouted. They saw Feng Dong walking towards Sima Yue and were waiting for him to subdue Sima Yue. However, what happened next caused everyone to freeze in place. Feng Dong walked to Sima Yue and knelt down on one knee. He bowed respectfully and said, "Feng Dong greets Junior Valley Master." Junior Valley Master? They were stunned. This person was the Junior Valley Master? Then what did they do just now? "Brother Feng, please get up." Sima Yue took out the blood thumb ring and wore it on her finger. She then looked at the waiter and the rest and said, "Do I have the right to teach you guys a lesson?" The onlookers were stunned by this turn of events. Until Sima Yue and Feng Dong entered the inn, everyone was still stunned on the spot. "Why aren't you guys getting up? What are you doing on the ground?" The enforcers reminded the people who were petrified on the ground. Those people hurriedly got up and looked at each other. Every one of them looked like they wanted to cry but had no tears. If they knew that she was the Junior Valley Master, they wouldn't have done such things. "Brother Feng, why are you here?" Sima Yue asked. "I'm on duty today and was bored in the valley. I received news that someone was causing trouble outside, so I wanted to come and take a look. I didn't expect to see the Junior Valley Master." Feng Dong said, "But what exactly is going on?" Sima Yue told him what happened. Feng Dong slammed the table and gave the waiter and the rest a shock. "Did the valley ask you guys to open an inn here so that you can earn money here? You guys raised the price so high and looked down on everyone. You wouldn't even know if you offended someone you shouldn't offend. Feng Dong scolded, from today onwards, change a group of people to manage the town. Go back and reflect on your actions. Those people didn't dare to object and lowered their heads to admit their mistakes. Actually, this punishment was much lighter than what they had imagined. If they had met Ing Bai Chuan today, they would have been chased out of the Divine Devil Valley. Luckily, this junior valley master wasn't so cold and didn't say anything about Feng Dong's punishment. After Feng Dong dealt with them, he looked at Sima Yue and asked, "When does the junior valley master intend to enter the valley?" "We just rushed for a long time. Let's rest here today and enter the valley tomorrow," Sima Yue said. "All right. I'll bring you guys into the valley tomorrow. Have a good rest tonight," Feng Dong said. "Why do I feel that there's something wrong with your words?" Sima Yue asked. Junior valley master, you don't have to worry. Actually, it's nothing much. It's just that the people in the valley were bored and started a bet," Feng Dong said. "It's related to me?" Sima Yue raised her eyebrows. Feng Dong nodded and said embarrassedly, "Everyone is betting whether you can break the array outside and enter by yourself." Chapter 1037. Sima Yue was speechless when she saw the smile on Feng Dong's face. "Did you also join in that gamble?" she asked. "Haha." Feng Dong scratched his forehead and said, "Those disciples who participated in the pill competition came back and spread the news of your arrival throughout the entire valley. Everyone is waiting for you to come. This bet is just everyone's expectation of you." "Are there many people betting?" Little Seven asked. "Not that many, at least those who are in seclusion did not join in," Feng Dong said. "Biff." Sima Yue spat out the tea in her mouth. Didn't this guy mean that the entire Divine Devil Valley was involved? He actually told her that it wasn't a lot. "How bored are you guys?" Sima Yue rubbed her forehead. "This is what everyone expects from you." Feng Dong said, "I bet that you will pass smoothly, so you have to work hard tomorrow." "I'll try my best." Sima Yue waved her hand, indicating that they could leave. After Feng Dong left, the disciples of Divine Devil Valley rushed to the door, wanting to see what was going on, but they were stopped by the guards left behind by Feng Dong. Sima Yue was very grateful to Feng Dong for doing this. If all these people came in, she would probably break down. After a good night's rest, Feng Dong came to find her the next morning. He brought Sima Yue and Little Seven to the entrance of the Divine Devil Valley, and many outer disciples ran over. At this moment, the inner disciples were also gathered at the square. They were looking at the images in the air and waiting for Sima Yue to enter. It could be said that this was the first time in history that everyone gathered together to watch someone pass the level. But today it really happened. "It's coming, it's coming." Someone pointed at the entrance of the valley and shouted, "She's alone. I wonder if she'll be able to enter successfully." "Definitely. I bet that she can enter, young valley master, don't let me lose." "He definitely won't lose. I believe in junior valley master. This array formation isn't that easy to break. Otherwise, those people would have already barged in. Although the junior valley master is powerful, he can't break it. Let's wait and see." Sima Yue did not know that all the disciples in the valley were watching her. After bidding farewell to Feng Dong, she entered the valley. The moment she stepped into the valley, the scenery in front of her changed immediately. Looking in from the outside, the trees here were short, but after entering, what appeared in front of them was a dense forest. "Why is there a jungle here?" Sima Yue looked around, trying to determine if what she saw outside was an illusion or what she saw inside was an illusion. Not a bit of panic, not bad. A white-bearded old man stroked his beard and nodded approvingly. "Old Xiao, you're praising too early. It's not certain whether or not she can walk out." The middle-aged man beside old Xiao said, "Little Tang, I remember that you made a bet that she wouldn't be able to come here by herself, right?" Elder Xiao said to the man, the weapon refining hall's hall master Tang Yi. "That's right." Tang Yi said, "How about this, let's make another bet between the two of us. If I win, you'll give me the set of armor that you refined previously. If I win, I'll give you the immeasurable pill that I refined. How about it? My set of armor is a divine-grade spirit weapon. You want to exchange it with a bottle of immeasurable pills?" Tang Yi did not fall for his trick. "Weren't you certain that she wouldn't be able to walk out by herself?" Old Xiao said, "Or do you think that she can come out by herself? Don't try to provoke me. Don't you want me to bet with you?" "I'll bet with you." Tang Yi said, "But old Xiao, let's make a deal. If you lose, you can't act shamelessly like before." "When did I act shamelessly?"
Old Xiao blew his beard and glared, looking very angry. Think about it yourself. Tang Yi stuck his hands in his sleeves, ignoring his angry expression. Old Xiao took out an exquisite jade bottle and placed it on the table, saying, "Let's put everything out. No one can deny it." "Old Xiao, you really refine the immeasurable pills?" someone said with some astonishment. "Of course." Old Xiao stroked his beard and said with a smile. "Old Xiao is indeed not ordinary." He. Some of the disciples below did not understand and pulled the person beside them to ask, "What kind of pill is the immeasurable pill?" "It's actually a kind of pill that increases one's battle strength. It's just that this kind of pill is usually quite harmful to the human body. However, this immeasurable pill doesn't have any side effects and can increase one's strength by several times." "Is this kind of pill very rare?" "Of course it's rare. A pill that increases one's strength without any side effects. If everyone had it, then wouldn't it be equivalent to having several helpers in a battle?" "That's true. Look at Old Xiao, his beard is about to fly up. Old Xiao is like this. It's not like you don't know." "Hey, who do you think will win, Old Xiao or Hall Master Tang?" "Of course I hope Old Xiao wins because I also bet that the Junior Valley Master would be able to come in by himself." "I said Hall Master Tang would win." "That's because you bet that the Junior Valley Master wouldn't be able to come in by himself." You guessed right. "We'll know who wins and who loses, just wait and see." "Hey, she seems to have found some clues," the disciples of the array hall exclaimed. Everyone hurriedly looked towards the sky and saw that she had successfully walked out of the forest. How could she be so fast? Those disciples rubbed their eyes in disbelief. Back then, they had also walked through the forest when they were at the small success stage. However, no one had left the forest as quickly as she did. That forest wasn't long to begin with. As long as she broke the array, she would be able to come out in a few minutes. The array hall master Xie Ziming said. But she broke the first array so quickly. The Junior Valley Master's array skills are probably above us. A disciple sighed. The person chosen by the blood ring is indeed different. She got first place in the alchemy competition and her array skills are also so good. At this moment, Sima Yoyue's image in everyone's heart was raised by quite a bit. Sima Yoyue, who was breaking the array, suddenly frowned. Why did she feel that the power of faith was increasing? Although it was very little, it was a dangerous period now. A slight deviation could cause the spiritual energy in her body to go berserk. She hurriedly stopped and adjusted her breathing. After making sure that the two auras didn't go berserk, she opened her eyes. "Who's worshipping me for no reason? If I find out, I'll definitely beat him up," she scolded in her heart. She stood up and patted the dust off her, but before continuing to study the array. This array was much more difficult than the first array. The array patterns were hidden and complicated. It wasn't easy to find. Furthermore, it was an array within an array. If she wasn't careful, she would be trapped in the array and die. This book came from the website. Chapter 1038. Read 336. Sima Yue deduced step by step based on her observations. Liang Wuming and the people from the array hall looked at her rapidly moving fingers, and a doubt surfaced in their hearts. Did this brat not use his brain to deduce? If someone else was able to deduce this quickly, they would definitely be scolded to death. This was because every step of the deduction of an array formation had to be done carefully. Once a step was wrong, then every step would be wrong. Sima Yoyue's deduction was so fast that those who did not know her would think that she was doing it casually as if it was child's play. Only those who knew her well knew that it was because her deduction speed was several times faster than ordinary people. She could deduce several results just by looking at one of the array patterns. With her speed, can she really break the formation? Someone asked. If it were someone else, I would definitely say no. However, based on the speed at which the Junior Valley Master deciphered the first stage of the array, I feel that she will be able to decipher this array. I believe it too. The Junior Valley Master is indeed the Junior Valley Master. Indeed, he isn't someone we can compare to. There's nothing to sigh about. Everyone's talent is different. If we had her talent, we would also be recognized by the blood ring. That's right. Therefore, she is a Junior Valley Master and we are not. It's fine as long as everyone stays calm. No matter what, the Junior Valley Master is the role model in my heart. He is the goal that I am chasing after. Yes, it's mine too. Many people worshipped Sima Yue in their hearts, which made her want to curse as she was breaking the array. She felt that some power of faith had entered her body. She felt like she was about to go crazy. What the hell was this power of faith constantly increasing? Could it be that someone disliked her and wanted to use this method to deal with her? Fortunately, the power of faith didn't increase by much, so it didn't cause any turbulence in his body. Thinking about how she couldn't use her awesome coaxing ability, she couldn't help but sigh. After a long sigh, she turned her attention back to the formation and continued to deduce. Half a day later, her slightly furrowed brows finally relaxed, and a confident smile appeared on her lips. That smile made everyone in the valley feel strange, as if there was nothing in the world that could stop her. Sima Yue flew into the air and observed the surrounding terrain according to the results of her deduction. She was more certain of her guess. She took out a few array stones and threw them in 4 different directions. Then she flew to the center and threw the array stones into the ground. Done. She clapped her hands and said with a smile. When the last array stone was inserted, the previous array completely lost its effect. She swaggered out of the array. Xie Ziming stood up from his seat in shock and looked at Sima Yue in disbelief. Valley Lord, did I see wrongly? She only used a few array stones to break the array? Liang Wuming was also deeply shocked. He knew that Sima Yue's array formation was not bad, but he did not expect her to have such high attainments. Why did such a good seedling go to alchemy? Xie Ziming slapped his thigh and regretted not meeting her earlier. Old Man Devil was not around, so Elder Xiao was the boss of the alchemy hall. Hearing Xie Ziming's words, he was unhappy. He stood up and shouted at Xie Ziming, "Old Man Xie, what do you mean? Yue won first place in the alchemy competition. Why can't she come to the alchemy hall?" Forget it. Even if her master is an alchemist, it doesn't mean she's from the alchemy hall. She's a junior valley master. She's not from the array hall either. She's not from the alchemy hall either. Old Man Xie, what did you say? Elder Xiao rolled up his sleeves and was about to attack. Fortunately, he was stopped in time. Quiet down. What's with all the noise? Liang Wuming shouted. Elder Xiao, Elder Xie, you don't have to fight. Since Yue is a junior valley master, then she's from both the alchemy hall and the array hall. Ying Baichuan smiled and said. When he saw the other hall masters staring at him, he quickly added, if she knows how to tame beasts, then she's from the beast taming hall. If she knows how to refine weapons, then she's from the weapon refining hall. What he said was not wrong. Elder Xiao, who was fuming with anger, snorted and admitted this point. Xie Ziming glared at Elder Xiao and snorted coldly. The 2 hall masters are fighting because of this. If Yue finds out, she'll have something against you? Ying Baichuan purposely dragged out the last part of his sentence. Elder Xiao, Xiao Jingzhong and Xie Ziming's eyes flashed and they returned to their seats. If Sima Yue found out that they were fighting because of a disagreement, it would definitely affect their position in her heart. If she wasn't willing to join them, then it would be a huge loss. After all, she was a junior valley master. If she wasn't willing, they couldn't force her. Ying Baichuan waited for them to return to their seats before he sat down. He raised his head and looked at Sima Yue. He smiled and shook his head. She hadn't even entered and she had already caused such a huge commotion. It could be said that the entire Divine Devil Valley had accepted her. Actually, more than 10 years ago, when his martial uncle came back from the Yilin continent and announced that the Blood Ring had recognized its owner, everyone was against the idea of a person from the lower realm becoming their junior valley master. At that time, he even followed his martial uncle to the lower realm to look for her and compete with her. Although he had suppressed his abilities, the result still shocked him and made him start to accept such a person. After that, when she came to the primordial lands, she didn't come to the Divine Devil Valley to seek protection and let herself grow slowly. Instead, she accepted various tests outside. News of her kept spreading to the Divine Devil Valley and the disciples in the valley were shocked again and again. Everyone accepted her bit by bit. Her timing was much better than before. But all of this was won by herself, wasn't it? Sima Yue didn't know what those people in the valley were thinking. She only felt that she was going to be confused by this array. After breaking through the second stage, there were still a few more arrays. One after another, she made a mistake and trapped herself in the array. Tang Yi saw that she was trapped in the array and smiled. He said to Xiao Jingzhong, Elder Xiao, it seems that your immeasurable pill is going to benefit me. Why are you so anxious? She just went in. Who knows, she might come out in a while. Xiao Jingzhong glanced at him and said indifferently, Look at you. You don't even have any confidence when you say that. You also think that she has no way to come out of the array, right? Tang Yi smiled proudly. Unless she gives up herself, otherwise it won't be considered a loss. Xiao Jingzhong said. Stubborn duck. You won't turn back until you hit the wall. Tang Yi said, Then I'll make you accept your loss wholeheartedly. Let's wait a little longer. Alright, all of you can go back. Get someone to guard here. If she gives up or comes out of the array, someone will inform you. Liang Wuming said. He said that because he believed that Sima Yue wouldn't be able to come out for a while. This book came from Pin and Book #network. Chapter 1039. If even Liang Wuming said so, it was enough to show how difficult the formation that trapped Sima Yue was. Everyone still had their own matters to attend to, so it was impossible for them to spend several days watching her break the array. Thus, everyone dispersed one after another, leaving only a few disciples to stand guard here. Xiao Jingzhong and Tang Yi were usually hands-off managers. Even though the valley assessment was imminent, they were still relatively free. Therefore, even though everyone else had left, they were still guarding the square. However, the array formation this time was indeed very difficult. Sima Yue had been trapped in the array formation for 3 days and still had no clue how to solve it. Old Xiao, so many days have passed. Just admit defeat. Tang Yi said. It's not the end yet. Xiao Jingzhong said faintly. He wasn't worried that he would lose. The last moment they were talking about was the day before the assessment. At that time, if she still hadn't broken the trapping array, they would have to go and get her out. Then Xiao Jingzhong would lose. Then I'll accompany you to the end. Tang Yi said. 2 days later, Sima Yue still had not come out. Tang Yi took out a book and started reading. Xiao Jingzhong immediately fell asleep with his hands on the table. He's out. He's out. Someone shouted from below, scaring Xiao Jingzhong, who was nodding non-stop. He almost knocked his head on the table. You're out? You really came out? He jumped up from his chair and saw that Sima Yue had successfully broken the array formation. The fog around her gradually dissipated and the path ahead slowly appeared in front of her. F***ck, it's really out. Ah, old Tang, you've lost to me this time. He put his hands on his hips and laughed. Tang Yi was still in disbelief. As he watched Sima Yue walk out of the array, he subconsciously said, Old Xiao, you couldn't have helped her cheat, right? Cheating my ass. Am I the kind of person who would help others cheat? What's more, I don't understand this array, so I can't cheat even if I wanted to. Xiao Jingzhong said, How about it, old Tang? You should give me that set of armor now, right? Tang Yi took out a set of armor and threw it to him. Although there was reluctance on his face, he did not deny it. Xiao Jingzhong put away the armor with satisfaction and said with a smile, I'm going to the casino to get my prize. Like I said, there's no problem if you bet with me, haha. Tang Yi looked at his back as he left. He couldn't help but roll his eyes and spit out 2 words, show off. After saying that, he raised his head and looked at Sima Yue, wondering what kind of pervert old man devil had brought back to the Divine Devil Valley. Sima Yue left the array formation. Feng Dong and Little Seven were waiting for her outside. You're amazing. Little Seven pounced over. Feng Dong said that those arrays are very powerful. Not many people can pass through them. You actually came over yourself. It is indeed a little difficult, but I was lucky to be able to come here. Sima Yue said with a smile. What luck? Little Seven raised her head and asked. I've seen some similar arrays before. Although there are some changes, they're still the same. Sima Yue said. She felt that the Divine Devil Valley and the 100 Changing Doors had a deep relationship. If not, why were there so many arrays in the valley that were recorded in that book and now lost? Junior Valley Master, please follow me. Feng Dong looked at Sima Yue as if he was looking at a god. Especially since he had won the bet, he could go to the casino to get his money. He brought Sima Yue to the sect's great hall. When he entered, it was filled with people. He had never seen such a scene before. Liang Wuming sat on the main seat. There was an empty seat beside him. It should be Old Man Devil's. Below Liang Wuming sat Ing Bai Chuan. There was an empty seat below Old Man Devil. It was prepared for her. On both sides below were various elders, hall masters, vice hall masters and young hall masters. It was a powerful lineup. Valley Lord, the Junior Valley Master is here. Sima Yue went forward and bowed to Liang Wuming. Yue greets the Valley Lord. You may rise. Liang Wuming looked at Sima Yue with satisfaction. Thank you, Valley Lord. Sima Yue stood up. Take a seat first. Liang Wuming pointed to her seat and said. Sima Yue went to her seat and sat down. Although she was facing so many elders, she didn't have stage fright at all. The hall masters nodded slightly. As expected of the Junior Valley Master chosen by the blood ring. Yue, let me introduce you. This is the Alchemy Hall Master Xiao Jingzhong, Elder Xiao. This is the Weapon Forging Hall Master Tang Yi, Elder Tang. This is the Array Hall Master Xie Ziming Elder Xie. The Beast Taming Hall Master Yu Bo, Elder Yu. The Spirit Seeking Hall Master Du Yang Hui, Elder He. Poison Master Hall Master Do by Elder Do. This is the Great Elder. Liang Wu Ming introduced them. Sima Yue bowed to them one by one and remembered each and every one of them. Yue, who did you learn your arrays from? Xiao Jingzhong asked. My master is Feng Zhixing. Sima Yue replied. Feng Zhixing? Feng clan? Xie Ziming said. People from an array family. Not bad, not bad. Sima Yue didn't know if he was praising her for learning well or praising her for being able to learn from the Feng clan. She could only smile without saying anything. Now that Yue is here, let's start discussing the assessment. Sima Yue didn't think that she would participate in such an important meeting the moment she came back. She didn't know anything about the assessment at all, so she just listened to them from the side, trying to get some useful information from their words. The meeting lasted for half a day. When it was over, Sima Yue felt a little dizzy from all the information she was looking at. Everyone left the main hall. Sima Yue walked behind them thinking about what they said just now. Ying Baichuan came in front of her and smiled. Do you feel that the amount of information is a little too much? Sima Yue nodded. I just came and don't know anything about the valley, so there are some things that I don't understand. No problem, I'll bring you to Marshal Uncle's courtyard and tell you about the valley. Ying Baichuan said. Okay, thank you, Senior. Let's go. Sima Yue followed Ying Baichuan to Old Man Devil's courtyard. Along the way, many disciples were excited when they saw Sima Yue. However, when they saw Ying Baichuan in front of them, they didn't dare to go forward. They seemed to be afraid of you. Sima Yue nodded at the disciples who greeted her. She saw the way they looked at Ying Baichuan and said curiously. Is that so? Ying Baichuan didn't think so. Yes, look at them. They don't dare to be presumptuous when they see you. Sima Yue looked at the people who were chatting and laughing together before but became obedient when they saw Ying Baichuan. Maybe. Ying Baichuan said. These guys are quite naughty. You have to restrain them. If you don't, they'll turn the sky upside down. Sima Yue smiled. She was afraid that it was because he was always like a boss. Chapter 1040. Read 336. We're here. This is Uncle Master's courtyard. Ying Baichuan brought Sima Yue to a courtyard and pushed the door open. Sima Yue looked at the mess inside and couldn't help but purse her lips. Ying Baichuan looked at Sima Yue's disdainful face and said, Uncle Master doesn't like people entering his courtyard, and even more so, he doesn't like people touching his things. In his words, he won't be able to find what he wants when the time comes. But he doesn't like to tidy up himself. Sima Yue shrugged. That's true. Ying Baichuan said, Uncle Master doesn't like to tidy up his house. But he's not here now. If you can't stand it, you can tidy it up. Sima Yue took a deep breath and began to clean the courtyard quickly. Ying Baichuan watched from the side without any intention of helping. Aren't you going to help? Sima Yue raised her head and asked. You can touch Uncle Master's things, but that doesn't mean we can too. Ying Baichuan said, he won't scold you, but that doesn't mean he won't scold us. Sima Yue was speechless and said, that's a good excuse. You can think of it that way. Ying Baichuan said. Then I'll get someone to help. No one will dare to come. Ying Baichuan said, other than you and Wu Lingyu, no one else can touch the things here, even if he's not here. All right. Sima Yue knew that her master had a weird temper and called out all her beasts to help her clean up. There was strength in numbers. Very quickly, the messy courtyard was cleaned up. This room is Uncle Master's and this is Wu Lingyu's. Over there is the alchemy room. Ying Baichuan pointed to the various rooms. Uncle Master prepared this room for you. Sima Yue pushed open her room. It was a suite with only a bed and a set of tables and chairs. There was a space ring on the table. There are some necessities in the ring. Ying Baichuan said. Sima Yue picked up the space ring and scanned through it. There were many useful and useless things inside. She was probably afraid that they would get dirty if she took them out. These things were left behind by Master? Yes, as far as I know, it has been prepared for a long time. It should have been prepared not long after I accepted you as my disciple. I just didn't expect you to take so long to come over. Ying Baichuan was quite emotional. He rarely saw Old Man Devil care about anyone or anything, other than making pills and saving Wu Lingyu. However, ever since he had returned from the Yilin continent, he had been full of praises for this disciple of his. He had even mumbled that he would prepare a house for her. However, even after he had left, she still hadn't come. Sima Yue held the space ring in her hand and felt warm inside. Although she recognized this master in a hurry and didn't have much contact with him, she remembered all the good he had done for her. "Do you want to decorate the room first?" Ing Baichuan asked. "I'll arrange it later," Sima Yue said. "Senior brother Ing, can you tell me about the situation in the valley first?" "All right." They went to the pavilion in the courtyard and sat down. Ing Baichuan told her a lot about the Divine Devil Valley before leaving. "You quickly look at my new form," Little Roar said excitedly to Sima Yue. Sima Yue used her thoughts and called Little Roar out from the spirit pagoda. Seeing the little kitten in front of her, she was a little stunned. Little Roar saw Sima Yue in a daze and flew one round in the air saying, "How is it, Yu? My new form isn't bad, right? You really changed your appearance." Sima Yue pinched his little ears. The iconic long ears from before were gone. "Of course," Little Roar said proudly. "You don't always put me in the spirit pagoda in the future." "All right. Now follow me to decorate the room." Sima Yue carried Little Roar and brought him into the house. "Do you remember when we went to the Capital Institute? I was the one who accompanied you to decorate the room?" Little Roar lay on the table and squinted his eyes at her. Sima Yue's hand that was wiping the table paused as she recalled the days when she went to the Capital Institute. At that time, she had just arrived at the Yilin continent and did not have the memories of her past life. She thought that it was her first time in this world and felt unfamiliar. The spirit contract made her very reliant on him. Thinking about those days, it had been so long. Thinking about it now, it felt like a lifetime had passed. How long are we going to stay here?" Little Roar used his claws to scratch the table and asked. "I don't know. It shouldn't be too long," Sima Yue said, "but it depends on the situation. But no matter where we are, we have to raise our strength first." Recently, she had been too busy and did not have much time to cultivate. If not for the blood essence that Wu La Mai gave her and the essence that Little Seven gave her, her strength would not be at the level of a divine emperor. It was a pity that when she came this time, Shui Qing Man and Wu La Mai only stayed in the Divine Devil Valley for a few days before returning to the Ninth Star Ocean. It was said that something happened in the Ninth Star Ocean and they needed Wu La Mai to go back to resolve it. If even Wu La Li and Wu La Lu could not resolve it, it should be more serious. When she heard about it from Ing Baichuan, she was worried that Shui Qing Man did not have enough pills. When Ing Baichuan said that the Divine Devil Valley had refined more pills for them, she was relieved. I also think that it's time for you to stop and rest," Little Roar said with a little heartache. "You used to work very hard but you weren't as tired as you are now. After I settle these things I will rest." Sima Yue said, "How can I rest when I haven't avenged my clan? Now that the sect has been established, everything is on the right track. Revenge is only a matter of time." Little Roar said, "You still have so many people with you. Don't force yourself." Sima Yue walked over and hugged Little Roar. She ruffled his fur and said, "I understand. I'm not forcing myself. Haven't the sect's matters been handed over to Feng and the rest?" "But you still haven't rested." Little Roar said, "You're still busy? Although you don't care much about the sect's matters, you're paving the way for them. This makes you very busy and tired." "It's good that we're on the right track now," Sima Yue said. You have to believe that everyone hopes that you can rest well," Little Roar said. They were in the spirit pagoda and saw that she was always busy. They all felt heartache for her. "I know. Thank you all for always being with me," Sima Yue said gratefully. "We will always be with you." Little Roar rubbed against her chest, full of dependence. "All right, let's tidy this place up first. Then we'll go see the Valley Lord," Sima Yue said. Once she was done with the matters at hand, she really needed to have a good rest and cultivate properly. This book came from the book and book hashtag. Chapter 1041. In 1 second she remembered, Love Divided by You? Read book webno pop-up window free to read. Liang Wu Ming was resting in his room when he felt Sima Yue enter his courtyard. "Come in." Liang Wu Ming waved his hand and the door opened. Sima Yue walked in and saw Liang Wu Ming sitting on the main seat with a few hall masters sitting below. Valley Lord, hall masters. Sima Yue bowed to Liang Wu Ming and the other hall masters. Although she had the title of Junior Valley Master and her status wasn't low, she still respected those elders from a psychological point of view. Those hall masters saw that Sima Yue was so humble and didn't put on the airs of a young genius, so they gave her quite a few points in their hearts. "Yue, we are talking about your matters. Sit down and listen," Liang Wu Ming said.
Talking about my matters? Sima Yue sat down on the seat that Liang Wu Ming pointed out to her and looked at everyone curiously. Do you know that when you were breaking through, all the disciples in the valley were watching? Liang Wu Ming said. All watching. Sima Yue looked at him strangely. What did he mean by all watching? You know that all the disciples in the valley participated in that bet, so we used some methods to send the video of you breaking through. Everyone was watching in the plaza. Liang Wu Ming said. Then what? Sima Yue asked. Then Elder Xiao and Elder Tang quarreled and wanted you to join their branch. Liang Wu Ming said. Sima Yue's eyes widened. There was such a thing? Liang Wu Ming looked at her expression and said, That's not all. There's more? Sima Yue was even more surprised. Because you were stone gambling in Cloud Sea City, they knew that you were a seeker spirit master. Liang Wu Ming said, So, Elder Du also hoped that you could join him. Sima Yue looked at Du Yanghui, he smiled and nodded at her. There's more? There's more? Sima Yue turned to look at Liang Wu Ming. Everyone knows that you are a beast tamer, so, are you willing to join the beast tamer hall? Yu Shirbo smiled and asked. Also, we know that you are a pharmacist from the academy, so, Sima Yue felt a headache coming on as she pursed her lips and asked, Is there anything else? The Poison Master Hall also wishes to invite you over. I heard that you are quite good at using poison. Liang Wu Ming said. Yes, young Valley Master. Are you willing to come to my Poison Master Hall? Do Bai looked at her with a smile. Sima Yue hesitated. How did they know about her identity? It's a headache, isn't it? Liang Wu Ming said, Right now, other than the weapon refining hall, all the other hall masters have the intention to invite you over. Sima Yue rubbed her forehead. This really gave her a headache. She had just arrived in the valley and it would not be good to offend anyone. That I should listen to my master. Since my master is not here, I don't think I need to choose which hall to join, right? She looked at Bai Chuan. Why didn't this guy tell her that she would encounter such a situation? Bai Chuan looked at her calmly and did not say anything else. Sima Yue blinked her eyes, not understanding what he meant. You really don't plan to join any of them? Liang Wu Ming asked again. Sima Yue looked around and nodded with certainty, saying, Let's wait for Master to come back before we talk about this. How is it? I told you that she wouldn't choose any of them, right? Liang Wu Ming looked around and smiled. Looks like we can only implement our agreement. Elder Xiao said. What agreement? Sima Yue was confused. We were just saying that you definitely wouldn't choose any of the halls. Bai Chuan said. Then why are you asking me? We just want to see if you are willing to join. Liang Wu Ming said. Now we are very sure of your thoughts. So now everyone is happy. Liang Wu Ming said. As the Junior Valley Master of the Mystic Valley, you don't need to join any of the halls. But you can learn from any of them. Really? Sima Yue felt that this change was a little too fast. Yes. Liang Wu Ming said. Since you just arrived in the valley, although Bai Chuan told you about the situation in the valley, you shouldn't be very familiar with it. So in the coming days, you should familiarize yourself with the valley and follow Bai Chuan to follow the assessment. Once you are familiar with the situation, you can follow the other halls to learn from them. Really? Of course. Liang Wu Ming said. Your master isn't in the valley, your senior isn't here either. So as your elders, we naturally have to make arrangements for you. Thank you, senior uncle. Sima Yue looked at Liang Wu Ming gratefully. So, Junior Valley Master, after the assessment you have to come to the Alchemy Hall more often. Your master used to stay in the Alchemy Hall often. Elder Xiao said. I will. Sima Yue smiled and nodded. You have to come to the Array Hall often too. Your talent in arrays is unparalleled. I believe you will become the most powerful array master here. Xie Ziming said. Thank you for the hall master's praise. Sima Yue nodded. I will continue to work hard. Don't forget to come to our place. Do Bai said. You will find out that our place is better than the academy. I am already looking forward to it. Sima Yue said. Old Man Devil and Wu Lingyu both said that the Divine Devil Valley was a suitable place for her to learn. If it wasn't because she was in the outer regions and coincidentally encountered the recruitment of the Heavenly Sect, she would have come here to learn. Bai Chuan, you will take care of her for the next few days. Liang Wu Ming said. Yes, Master. I will bring Junior Brother to familiarize himself with this place as soon as possible. Bai Chuan replied. There are still a few days before the assessment. Go back and get your disciples to practice. Liang Wu Ming said.
Alright, you can go and do your own things. Junior Valley Master, don't forget to come to our place. Xiao Jingzhong turned around to confirm with Sima Yue before he left. I will. Sima Yue smiled at him before he turned around and left. After they left, only Liang Wu-ming and Ying Baichuan were left in the house. Sima Yue let out a long sigh of relief. Senior brother Ying, you should have told me this earlier. Sima Yue turned around and looked at Ying Baichuan speechlessly. Master and the others didn't allow me to say. Ying Baichuan shrugged helplessly. Let's go, I will bring you to visit the Divine Devil Valley. Sima Yue looked at Liang Wu-ming and saw that he didn't say anything. She followed Ying Baichuan out and found Little Seven to visit the famous Divine Devil Valley. Chapter 1042. Read 336. The Divine Devil Valley was huge, much bigger than what she had imagined. It would take at least a few days to walk one round. Ying Baichuan brought her to each of the halls. When they heard that they were going to visit, those people were extremely excited. They ignored Ying Baichuan's cold aura and gathered in groups of 3 to 5, wanting to catch a glimpse of Sima Yue. They were all professional masters. Although they were usually arrogant and lofty in front of people with strength, they still sincerely admired them. Towards a genius like Sima Yue, they were even more in awe. Sima Yue bumped into an acquaintance in the Pill Refinery Hall, which reminded her of her family in the Restless Continent. Uni greets Junior Valley Master. Uni bowed to Sima Yue. They had not seen each other for more than 10 years, but he was still the same. He had not changed at all. Uni, you're here too. Sima Yue was happy to see him. She smiled and walked up to him. Uni is a disciple of the Alchemy Hall Elder. Ying Baichuan said. Uni, have you been back to the Restless Continent all these years? Sima Yue asked. I went back once 2 years ago. Uni said, those people in your family are doing well. They have already settled down in the Restless Continent. You don't have to worry about them. That's good. Sima Yue relaxed. It wasn't that she hadn't thought of bringing her clansmen up, but their strength was limited. Perhaps they were a strong force below, but when they came up here they could only be oppressed and weak. After much consideration, she decided to let them continue to live in the lower continents. If someone's strength increased and came to this continent, she would help them. I went to see them before I came up. Oh, they even asked about your situation. Uni pointed to the pavilion in the courtyard. They chatted as they entered the pavilion. It's a good thing that news of you will come to the valley from time to time, or else I wouldn't know how to answer their questions. Thank you, Uni. Sima Yue said gratefully. Junior Valley Master, you are too polite. This is what I should do. And I didn't do anything, I just told them some things about you. Uni said with a smile. How are Yu Qing and the others? Sima Yue asked. They're all fine. They just miss you guys. Uni said, their strength has grown quite fast these past few years. I think it won't be long before someone comes up again. Really? Sima Yue was happy for them. If they could come up, their future would be better. They're all very talented, Uni said. I know. Sima Yue nodded. She had given them the tendon and marrow cleansing elixir before. Their innate talents had been altered and they were naturally much more powerful than others. Let me know if you want to go back in the future. Sima Yue said. Is there anything you want me to do? Uni asked. Yes, if you want to go down again, help me bring some things down in a few words, Sima Yue said. Okay. As they still had to visit the other halls, Sima Yue and Uni didn't chat for long before they got up and left. After a day, Sima Yue and the other two only visited a few halls. As Ying Baichuan still had to deal with the assessment, they could only push the visiting matters to the back. Ying Baichuan had already helped Liang Wu-ming to deal with the matters in the valley. This wasn't the first time the assessment was held. With past experience, it wasn't difficult to deal with it now. It was just that there were some trivial matters that needed to be dealt with. Sima Yue followed Ying Baichuan and gave a few suggestions when he was dealing with matters. Those suggestions made Ying Baichuan and the supervisor of the assessment light up. After the supervisor left, Ying Baichuan looked at Sima Yue and smiled as he shook his head. I really should let Master know how capable you are in managing matters. You should be more in charge of the matters in the valley. I don't like to do those things. Sima Yue said, Senior brother Ying won't sell me out, right? Ying Baichuan stared at Sima Yue for a while and said, if I tell you, you'll probably run away. Sima Yue smiled, Senior brother knows me well. If Liang Wu-ming really let her manage the matters in the valley, she would probably really leave. She didn't like to deal with these matters. Although it made people feel that she had more power, she just didn't like it. If she had the energy, she would rather go back and manage her own sect. But you're the Junior Valley Master. In the future, you and I will have to manage the matters in the valley together sooner or later. Ing Baichuan said, you won't throw this burden to me alone, right? Senior brother Ing, what's your keepsake? Sima Yue didn't answer but asked instead. Ing Baichuan showed her the white jade thumb ring on his hand. It looks the same as my thumb ring, but the color is different. Sima Yue looked at his thumb ring, then looked at her thumb ring and said, no, mine is different from yours. Ing Baichuan said, my thumb ring isn't as, evil as yours. Evil? Sima Yue raised her left hand and stared at the blood thumb ring. The blood red color indeed made people feel that it was a little evil. How is this thing evil? I heard from Master that some of the people chosen by the blood thumb ring had gone mad. Ing Baichuan said, but looking at you, you don't look like you've gone mad. Gone mad? How did he go berserk? Sima Yue was a little shocked. She thought of the time when the blood thumb ring recognized her. She had hallucinations. A beauty and a skeleton. Those people always said that they would hallucinate. Sometimes they couldn't even differentiate between the hallucinations and reality, causing them to go mad. Ing Baichuan said, so evil? Little Seven exclaimed, you won't become like that, right? I don't feel it. Do you feel that I'm abnormal? Sima Yue asked. Little Seven thought about it seriously and said, not yet. Junior brother's mental strength is strong. It's not that easy to control. Ing Baichuan said, if you think about it, the one who has the blood thumb ring is the real Junior Valley Master of the Divine Devil Valley. He will also be the future Valley Lord. The blood thumb ring has such a high status? Yes, it said that the blood thumb ring is connected to a secret of the Divine Devil Valley. But for many years, no one has really gotten the blood thumb ring's recognition and no one has been able to control it. So for so many years, no one knows what the blood thumb ring's secret is. Ing Baichuan said, maybe you can help us unravel this secret. Senior brother Ing, when you say it like that, it makes me feel pressured. Sima Yue said embarrassedly. She looked at the blood thumb ring in her hand and felt that the blood red color seemed to have come alive. It emitted a faint aura as if it wanted to swallow her. This book came from Pin and Book #web. Chapter 1043. Her words made Zhang Hao speechless. She still needed Little Black to guard this place. How could she leave the square? But if she wanted to cook, wouldn't she have to do it here? You guys better think of a way quickly, Sima Yue said. These 2 days are very short, I won't be able to do anything by then. Wu Man raised her eyebrows. She didn't sound worried, which meant that there was a chance. However, she looked at Zhang Hao and the others and fanned herself without saying anything. Some people just needed to be cheated more. Luo Qi and the others didn't have any objections to this. They just frowned and didn't say anything. Alright, she can't leave this place now, so why do you care about her? Let's continue to think of other ways. Meng Sha said. Humph. Zhang Hao snorted discontentedly. You're just giving in to her. He's just a child. She's the only one who can deal with this thing now. If we don't accommodate her, don't tell me that we'll provoke her and she'll wash her hands of us again? Meng Sha retorted. Alright, quickly think of a way. Luo Qi said unhappily. This Zhang Hao was really regressing the more he lived. He actually had this kind of unclear situation. What else can we do? We can only go back and flip through the ancient books in the city to see if we can find a way to seal it. Zhang Hao said. That's the only way. However, there are so many ancient books. We need more people. Wu Man said. Siyu was eating at the side and seeing Wu Man so worried that the smile on her face disappeared, she asked, Ant-Man, the 4 of you are experts among experts. How can you not seal this thing? I can't. Wu Man directly spoke the truth. She didn't feel that it was shameful. Even you guys can't do it? Not only Siyu but the other members of the C family were also surprised. Because the forbidden area was related to the safety of the city, not many people knew about it. If it wasn't for this incident, many people probably wouldn't have known that such a dangerous thing was hidden inside. As the head of the family, Si Kong naturally knew about this. However, he had never told Siyu and the others about it. Hence, when he saw that Wu Man and the others couldn't do anything about it, he was shocked. That's right. Otherwise, how could something like this happen? Wu Man thought that in the end, she might still need Sima Yue's help. She casually set up a barrier and wrapped it around the square, blocking the vision and divine senses of the people outside. It was easy to isolate people's vision with a barrier, but it was difficult to isolate people's divine sense. Sima Yue watched as Wu Man casually waved her hand and set up such a barrier. It seemed that the 4 stewards were quite capable. Thinking about it, how could an ordinary person become the manager of this big ghost city? However, Wu Man's actions gave her a bad premonition. You should have heard some rumors about this thing. This is a power. Because it has existed for so long, it has already gained sentience. Wu Man explained, once this thing comes out, Ghost City will cease to exist, so we have been sealing it here. Since it was sealed in the past, why don't we seal it again now? You're all so powerful, why can't you seal this thing? Siyu said. We can't seal it. Wu Man said, this thing is different from others. It needs a special method to seal it. Other seals are useless. It won't take long for it to break through again. And only the city lord knows how to do that. How do you know it's useless? Previously, there was a time when the city lord did not come back in time to repair the seal, and that thing almost came out. The 4 of us worked together to set up a seal, and we barely managed to trap it for a day or 2. Luckily, the city lord came back in time, so it was not as dangerous as this time. Wu Man said. So the city lord is not in the city now. Sima Yue said. Zhang Hao snorted again. His meaning was obvious. If the city lord was here, would it be your turn to strut around here? Sima Yue was not angry. No matter how high you raised your chin now, didn't you still have to look at her face? I see. The city lord is not here, so you can't do anything about it. Since that's the case, why are you so unhappy with my little sister? Your face is so dark. You don't want my little sister to help, right? Siyu said sarcastically. What nonsense are you talking about? Si Kong, is this how you teach your daughter? Zhang Hao was mocked and shouted angrily. What's wrong with my daughter? I think she's pretty good. Her words are what I think. No wonder they say that a daughter is a father's intimate little jacket. Si Kong sighed. Sima Yue looked at the Si family. Their reactions were very calm. It seemed like they often saw this scene. That meant that the Si family's old man had always been like this? Alright. Look at the situation now. Why are you still quarreling? Wu Man didn't know if she was scolding Zhang Hao or Si Kong. Sima Yue felt that it was highly possible that she was scolding the former. Didn't you say that you wanted to find a way? Luo Qi said, let's go find someone to help us. We shouldn't let too many people know about this. Meng Sha said, since you know about it, then come help. I'm not going. Sima Yue said, I'm afraid that if I know too much, I'll be silenced. I'll wait for you here with Little Black. Find a way quickly and come back quickly to solve this. I still have my own things to do. Father, don't we have things to settle at home too? Since there's nothing else here, let's go back first. Si family's eldest brother said. It's time to go back. Well man, if there's anything, let me know. If we can help, we'll do our best. Si Kong finished speaking and took out a tissue to wipe his mouth. He called his children and left. Father, I'll stay behind to accompany little sister. Siyu said. Don't cause trouble. Si Kong knew that Siyu would be fine with Wu Man here. After reminding her, he looked at Wu Man. Wu Man waved her hand and the spirit barrier disappeared instantly. This speed made Sima Yue envious. After Si Kong left with the Si family's brothers, the other onlookers also left. Those who were unwilling to leave were chased away by the patrol team. Wu Man and the others left after reminding Siyu and Siyu. Now that time was tight, they didn't dare to delay. With Sima Yue here, they had to quickly flip through the ancient books to see if they could find a way. Because they didn't have enough manpower, they had no choice but to transfer the previous guards over. This was because, other than the city lord and the 4 stewards, these guards were the ones who knew the most about the things in the forbidden area. They hoped that they could find a good solution in these 2 days. This book came from Chapter 1044. Master, I won't be able to refine weapons in the future, right? A female disciple woke up and cried out involuntarily when she saw her crippled left hand. And then don't be afraid. We can't explain it clearly now. Don't worry, the valley will heal you. Someone comforted her. Master, my hand. An An's cry woke up the unconscious disciple beside her. After he woke up, he also cried out. How could this be? The continuous screams caused the entire courtyard to become chaotic. Everyone was scared silly by their own situation. Alright, Elder Shao, you guys go and treat them first. Let them calm down quickly. I'll go take a look at the poison ones. Doubai had a headache from all the shouting. Sima Yue followed Xiao Jingzhong to check on those injured people. They had already given them healing pills, but because their injuries were too serious, they still looked very serious. The disciples of the medical hall were bandaging their wounds. When they saw Xiao Jingzhong coming over, they retreated to the side. How are they doing? Several elders of the refining hall rushed over. When they saw their disciples injured like this, they were so angry that they jumped up. Who did this? Elder, they are from the Cloud Cave. Yes, it was the Cloud Cave that attacked us. The ones who attacked us were not from the Cloud Cave. They were from other sections. The ones who attacked you were not from the Cloud Cave? Which sect is he from? The people who attacked us were from the Kong Valley. Kong Valley? Are you sure? Sima Yue asked. I'm sure that the person who killed us was wearing Kong Valley's clothes. That person thought for a moment and said with certainty. Wearing Kong Valley's clothes doesn't mean you're from Kong Valley. Sima Yue said, I believe that the people from Kong Valley won't do anything to us. What? Junior Valley Master, are you so sure? I know Kong Sangyi and have interacted with Kong Valley before. They won't do anything to Divine Devil Valley. Sima Yue said confidently. Wearing Kong Valley's clothes doesn't mean you're from Kong Valley. Xiao Jingzhong said, take care of your bodies first. We will investigate the other things clearly. As the situation was too serious, Xiao Jingzhong stayed while Sima Yue and Little Seven left. Do you believe that the people from Kong Valley will attack Divine Devil Valley? Little Seven saw Sima Yue, who was deep in her thoughts. I believe it's not Kong Valley to do it. Sima Yue said, Xiangyi knows that I am the young Valley Master of the Divine Devil Valley and knows about our relationship. They will not attack the Divine Devil Valley suddenly. What if they were coerced? 7 to Little Yuet, to Yue. Cloud Yun to Yuet to Yudo Cloud to, if Kong Valley's people are controlled by them, then it's possible. You're right. Sima Yue said, wasn't Xiangyi in Heartbreak Valley? Let's ask Feng if there's any situation. Sima Yue returned to the courtyard and took out a mother-son stone. She inserted her spirit energy into it and waited for a response. It was different from the usual mother-son stone. This mother-son stone was only the size of an egg. It was round and transparent and could be contacted from a long distance. Sister, what's wrong? Why did you suddenly contact me? Shimin Feng's voice came from the mother-son stone. Feng, is Xiangyi still in Heartbreak Valley? Sima Yue asked directly. No, she went back 2 days ago. She said something happened in Kong Valley. Shimin Feng said, why, what happened? There's something I need to tell you. Sima Yue told him about the attack on Divine Devil Valley's disciples. Kong Valley's people won't be involved in this. Shimin Feng said confidently after listening. I thought so too. Sima Yue said, but you said, Xiangyi said that something happened in Kong Valley. How's the situation over there? Shimin Feng asked. Things are a little messy. It will be the day of the assessment in a few days. The disciples outside will be coming back one after another. Now that senior brother Ying has sent the disciples outside the valley to receive them, I hope nothing will happen. Sima Yue said, help me check what's going on with Kong Valley. Okay. Yu, it seems like someone was sent back. Little Seven said. Sima Yue looked in the direction that Little Seven was pointing at and saw a few injured people being sent back. Feng, I'll go take a look first. Contact me if you have any news. Okay. Let's go take a look over there. Sima Yue kept the mother-son stone and rushed towards that direction with Little Seven. As expected, those people were disciples who were on their way back. They were killed on their way back. Luckily, they met the disciples who went to rescue them, so the situation wasn't too serious. Sima Yue left after seeing the situation over there. She couldn't be of much help over there. They said that the people who attacked them were from another sect. Little Seven said. I heard it. Sima Yue said, things have become complicated. If those people weren't impersonators, then there's really someone who's targeting Divine Devil Valley. But who is it? Little Seven imitated Sima Yue and used her right hand to support her chin, looking like she was deep in thought. Sima Yue regained her senses and was amused by her look. She laughed out loud and used her hand to ruffle her hair, saying, we don't know much about these things. There's no use thinking about it here. Let's see how senior uncle and the rest deal with it. There were more incidents of disciples being attacked in the next 2 days. Luckily, the valley had already sent people out to receive them. The situation wasn't too serious. But the original assessment time was postponed indefinitely. According to Liang Wu Ming, the situation wasn't stable now. They would wait until everything was stable before the assessment. Everyone in the valley was busy dealing with the incident of the disciples being attacked. Sima Yue also understood quite a bit of the situation. But the more she knew, the more she felt that this matter was fishy. Just like that, all the hall masters in the valley had a meeting. She sat quietly at the side. After hearing the news from the hall master who was in charge of information, she frowned slightly. But she didn't say anything and just listened quietly. Liang Wu-ming noticed her expression and asked when no one spoke, "Yue, do you have any thoughts?" Sima Yue didn't expect him to call her. She thought for a while and said what she thought. "Valley Lord, I feel that something isn't right." "What do you think is wrong?" Liang Wu-ming asked. Chapter 1045. Read 336. Sima Yue sorted out her thoughts and said, "I've been in the valley for the past 2 days. Although we're not on good terms with Cloud Cave and some other forces, this has never happened before." Liang Wuming nodded. "Indeed. If that's the case, why would so many forces attack us all of a sudden?" Sima Yue said, "And we didn't hear anything before this, it doesn't make sense." "It's indeed a bit sudden." Dou Bai said, "But it could also be their doing in the dark. If they wanted to send so many people to the Divine Devil Valley, we wouldn't have missed it." Ying Bai Chuan said, "Unless." "Unless what?" "Unless someone from Divine Devil Valley communicates with him." Sima Yue said, "Only in this way can he catch us off guard." "You're saying that there's a mole in our valley?" Xiao Jingzhong shouted. "Don't let me know who it is or I'll definitely—" "Old Xiao, don't be so agitated. We haven't confirmed anything yet," Tang Yi said. "This matter indeed needs to be investigated." Liang Wu-ming said, "If someone really betrayed us, we must investigate thoroughly. Also try to heal the injured disciples as much as possible. For those who haven't returned yet, tell them not to return for the time being." "Yes, Valley Lord." "Also, do you have anything else to say?" "Yes." After the meeting, Sima Yue was asked to stay. "Yue, the valley has been rather busy recently. I have a mission for you." Liang Wu-ming said. "What?" Sima Yue blinked. "You were the one who brought up the matter with the mole, so I want you to investigate this." Liang Wu-ming said. "You want me to go?" Sima Yue pointed at herself. "There are so many people in the valley but I don't know many of them. Isn't it like looking for a needle in a haystack?" "Yes." Liang Wu-ming nodded. "If that was the case, why did he ask her to investigate?" "Don't be surprised. I asked you to investigate because I want to confuse others. The person who will truly investigate will be someone else." Liang Wu-ming said. "Valley Lord, do you have anyone in mind?" Sima Yue asked. "To be honest, no." Liang Wu-ming said, "But to be able to do this, his position in the valley must not be low. So if you ask me to investigate on the surface, that person will think that I'm not harmful to them and let his guard down." Sima Yue said, "That's a good idea." But what?" Liang Wu-ming raised his eyebrows. "I have a better idea," Sima Yue said. "What method?" Liang Wu-ming asked. "The oldest but most effective way." Sima Yue said, "Keep an eye on everyone in the valley." "Monitor everyone?" There were so many people in the Divine Devil Valley, it wasn't easy to monitor everyone. Furthermore, it would alert the enemy. Liang Wu-ming said. "How many people know about the scarlet bees that Master brought back?" Sima Yue asked. "Scarlet bees? I don't think many people know about it." Liang Wu-ming said, "Your master treasured it a lot when he came back. Although everyone knows that he has scarlet bees, not many people have seen them. Are you thinking of using scarlet bees to monitor those people?" "Yes." Sima Yue said, "Scarlet bees are very good at finding out information." "That's fine too." Liang Wu-ming said, "If you find out anything, let me know." "I will." "If you need anything, let Bai Chuan help you." "I got it." Sima Yue left the meeting room and Little Seven came in from the other side of the courtyard. You're done with the meeting?" Little Seven ran over and asked. "Let's go, I need your help with something." "You need my help?" Little Seven was interested. "What is it?" "You'll know later." Sima Yue brought Little Seven to a mountain peak. Just as she thought, Little Seven had a high sensitivity towards plants. You want me to help you sense these plants?" Little Seven asked. "Not only that, I want you to help me cover the bees." Sima Yue said, "The scent of the plants and the bees correspond, so even those who are strong won't be able to find out easily." Little Seven nodded, "No problem, just leave this to me. Then I'll release the bees."
Sima Yue released tens of thousands of scarlet bees and let them fly to every corner of the Divine Devil Valley. Many scarlet bees hid under the leaves, with the scent of the plants as cover. It was hard to find them if one didn't look carefully. This was the first time she sent out so many scarlet bees to find out information, and it was in such a crowded place. If it wasn't for Little Seven's cover, they would have been found out easily by those strong people. After everything was set up, the two of them returned to the courtyard. The following days were just waiting. The injured were waiting for their condition to improve, the Divine Devil Valley was waiting for news, and Sima Yue was waiting for the traders to take action. But no one was injured and no one contacted the outside world. It was as if this matter had suddenly stopped. But she didn't think that this matter would end just like that. That night, Sima Yue was reading a book under the light when she suddenly received the news from the Scarlet Queen Bee. Little Seven then jumped down from the bed. There's movement. Little Seven said. After waiting for so long, there's finally movement. Sima Yue kept the book. Let's contact senior uncle and senior brother first, then we'll go and see the trader's true face. Alright. In the dark night, a black figure quickly passed through the valley and arrived at the peak of a mountain. There, someone was waiting for him. 17th Elder, you've made me wait for a long time. A feminine voice rang in the night, giving people goosebumps. Why are you here? 17th Elder's face darkened. The valley is already suspecting that someone has betrayed the Divine Devil Valley and is investigating. If you come to find me now, it'll be easy for me to be exposed. I know, but you haven't given us any news, so I have no choice. That person said. I don't have anything to tell you recently. Now that they're on guard, it won't be easy to do anything. 17th Elder said. Is that so? But we've received another piece of news, saying that you've already brought all the disciples back. Such an important piece of news, why didn't you tell us? What? 17th Elder was shocked. Impossible, I'm in charge of contacting those disciples, I didn't even give the order for them to come back, how could... You really don't know? I really don't know. If not, why would I dare to hide it from you? Your family members are in our hands, I don't think you dare to not listen to Master. In that case there's only one reason. What's the reason? 17th Elder saw him staring at him, and a bad premonition arose in his heart. This book came from the book and book #net. Chapter 1046. PFFF. The 17th Elder lowered his head in disbelief and looked at the arm that had pierced through his chest. Why? As he spoke, his blood energy surged and a trace of blood flowed out from his mouth. The fact that they went around you and took back their disciple can only mean that you've already been exposed. That person withdrew his hand and took back his heart. Pucci, blood spurted out from the large hole in his chest, splashing onto the ground. Aye. The 17th Elder knelt down on one knee. He opened his mouth but no words came out. His body fell to the ground and he stopped breathing. It's useless for your family to keep such useless things. That person took out a handkerchief and wiped the blood off his hand. Then he condensed a flame and burned the handkerchief. He faintly sighed and disappeared. When Sima Yue and the rest arrived, there was only 17th Elder's corpse left. With just a glance, they were certain that the 17th Elder was no longer breathing. We're late. Ying Baichuan said unwillingly. Yue, have you heard any news about the scarlet bees? Liang Wuming asked. Sima Yue shook her head. They didn't say anything useful. Let me check and tell you what they said. She came to the side of the 17th Elder's corpse and felt that his body was still warm. She probed his body with her divine sense. What is she doing? Xiao Jingzhong asked. Check 17th's memories. Liang Wuming said. You can do that? Isn't the 17th Elder dead? It should be possible. Ying Baichuan said, but I don't know if we can find any useful information. Everyone looked at Sima Yue. When she was done they would know the result from her expression. You didn't find anything useful, did you? Xiao Jingzhong asked. Yes. Sima Yue nodded. The other party was very careful and didn't leave behind any information. 17th Elder doesn't even know who he is. What did you learn from his memories? Liang Wuming asked. They found the 17th Elder 3 months ago. They captured 17th Elder's family and threatened him to hand over the information to a man in black. Other than the black-clothed man who had killed him, he had never seen anyone else's face. I don't even know what kind of power they are. Sima Yue shared the memories she saw. 17 is someone who values his family very much. They have grasped his weakness, Tang Yi said. Other than the man in black,
17th Elder has no other useful information. Sima Yue said. Now that the other party has killed him, his family will definitely not be able to survive. Ing Baichuan said somewhat sadly. Baichuan, bury 17th's body properly. Yes, master, Ing Baichuan replied. Yue, continue to let the Scarlet Bees monitor every movement in the valley. If there's anything strange, report to me immediately, Liang Wu Ming instructed. Valley Lord, do you think there are still people in the valley who betrayed us? Xiao Jingzhong asked. The other party wouldn't know that 17 was exposed for no reason. This means that they have gotten information from other people. Liang Wu Ming said, everyone disperse. The others went back. Sima Yue helped Ing Baichuan bury 17th Elder. Seeing that Ing Baichuan's expression wasn't very good, she knew that he was feeling terrible. Senior brother Ing, don't be too sad. 17th Elder has always taken good care of me. I didn't expect. Ing Baichuan's voice was a little hoarse. His eyes were red. He was angry and sad. From 17th Elder's memories, we can see that he was still loyal to the Divine Devil Valley. Sima Yue patted Ing Baichuan's shoulder. His mistake was that after knowing that his family had been captured, he shouldn't have chosen to remain silent. He should have told the Valley Lord about it and let everyone think of a solution. Now that he's dead, his family can't be saved either. No matter who it is, I will definitely catch them. Ing Baichuan clenched his fist. After they buried 17th Elder's body, Sima Yue clapped her hands and said, let's go and see Senior Uncle. There were too many people just now. I didn't tell him some things. Do you have any other useful information? No, I just have some doubts that I want to tell Senior Uncle. Sima Yue said, let's go. The news of 17th Elder betraying the Divine Devil Valley spread quickly in the valley. When everyone knew about it, they were all deeply moved. Everyone liked this elder, but they didn't expect the truth to be like this. When Sima Yue and Ing Baichuan came to Liang Wu Ming's room, they saw him in a daze. Sima Yue recalled what Ing Baichuan said just now. 17th Elder was practically groomed by Liang Wu Ming. Their relationship wasn't shallow. Now that something like this happened, he couldn't help but feel sad. Liang Wu Ming saw them coming in. He kept his emotions and asked, why are you here? There were too many people just now. There were some things that I didn't tell Senior Uncle. Sima Yue said, I found something unusual in 17th Elder's memories. I don't know if it's considered useful information. What did you find? In 17th Elder's memories, the man who came into contact with him looked a little like those people we saw in Cloud Sea City. Sima Yue said. Liang Wu Ming and Ing Baichuan were shocked. Are you sure? Sima Yue nodded. The figure doesn't look like it, but the aura is very similar to those people. It seems like they're from the same organization. If that's really the case, then the inner regions are playing tricks. Ing Baichuan said, I don't know what's going on with the inner regions these few years. They've been interfering with the inner regions matters and stirring up so much chaos. What are they trying to do? There should be some big turmoil in the inner regions, so they want to stretch their hands into the inner regions. Liang Wu Ming said, but they can't interfere with the inner regions matters for no reason, so they want to stir up trouble to give them a reason to take action. The inner regions have been in turmoil these few years. There are indeed some powerhouses who are contacting the inner regions. Ing Baichuan said, if it's the inner regions who are playing tricks, then those people from Cloud Cave and Kong Valley might not be their people. There are too few clues now, so these are only our guesses. Sima Yue said, but something happened at Kong Valley's side. I heard that they were poisoned by a poison that only our valley has. If we believe that this was done by Kong Valley, and Kong Valley's people think that they were poisoned by us, then the two factions will most likely fight. Ing Baichuan said worriedly. Kong Valley's side is fine. Sima Yue said, I've already gotten people to settle the matters there. Perhaps they will send someone to contact us soon. You've already settled it? Yes. Sima Yue said, if they send someone over, I hope that Senior Uncle won't make things difficult for them. Chapter 1047. You're still in contact with people from the Kong Valley? Liang Wu Ming asked in astonishment. Yes. Sima Yue said, that day there were people from the Kong Valley among those disciples who attacked them, so I sent people to investigate in secret. In the end, we found out that there was also a situation on their side, so we got someone to mediate. Can that person succeed in mediating? Ing Baichuan asked worriedly. If this problem was not handled properly, the two forces might become enemies, and it would be difficult to resolve it in the future.
Don't worry. His position in the Kong Valley is not low. Sima Yue said, so you don't have to worry about the Kong Valley. Thank you, Yue. Uncle Master, you're too kind. You've been so busy recently and I haven't done anything for the valley. It's my duty to do something now. Sima Yue smiled. If the inner regions are involved, then this matter won't be so easy to investigate. Ing Baichuan said. So, they hadn't been able to find out anything about the incident in Ocean of Cloud City at that time, and they would probably be unable to find anything even if they continued like this. I don't think our top priority right now is to find out who did it. Since it's related to the forces in the inner regions, it'll be much harder to find out. Sima Yue said, what we need to do now is to resolve the current crisis and not let their plan succeed. You're right. We do need to shift our focus. Liang Wu Ming said, we need to discuss this matter carefully. Sima Yue didn't participate much in the subsequent events. Although she was still letting the Scarlet Bees monitor everything in the Divine Devil Valley, the other party seemed to have discovered their intentions, so they didn't make any moves until another steward of the Divine Devil Valley was killed. This time they didn't get any useful information, but they could confirm that there was someone in the Divine Devil Valley who was in contact with the other party. After that, the matter was completely silent. She didn't need to be involved in finding out the truth behind the framing and resolving the grudges that shouldn't have existed with other forces. Hence she was free again. When she had nothing to do, she would go and check on the injured and see how they were recovering. You're recovering well, Sima Yue said with a smile after checking Yuni's body. Yuni moved her hand and smiled when she felt the strength in her hand. Thank you. If you didn't use the silver needle technique to connect my meridians, I think I would be a cripple now. He looked at her gratefully. I can only say that I'm glad to be able to help you. Sima Yue said, but that's all I can do. I can't do anything for the others. I can only watch them. You've healed all the people with broken tendons. Everyone is very grateful to you. Yuni's voice sounded a little sad. Those people's arms and legs were broken. You can't regenerate them. It's not your fault. Don't blame yourself. Yes. Sima Yue nodded. She could not do anything about those people. By the way, the assessment has been put on the agenda again. You should prepare well. Another assessment? Yuni was a little surprised. He thought that after such a thing happened, the valley would not have another assessment. Yes. Because we couldn't find anything from the investigation, the valley decided to return to normal life. Sima Yue said, but the date hasn't been set yet. We'll see how your recovery is going. I'm already fine. I think the others should be fine too. Yuni said, since there's going to be an assessment, I can't be lazy anymore. I have to practice well for a period of time. That's true. But you can't be too tired. Remember to strike a balance between work and rest. I'll go back first. Sima Yue stood up and bid farewell. After leaving Yuni's courtyard, she took a few turns and found Little Seven. She asked her to go back with her. Little Seven liked the alchemy hall very much now. Because there were precious pills everywhere, she could get some delicious radishes from time to time. Alright, those precious medicinal herbs were about the same as radishes in her eyes. The people in the alchemy hall respected Sima Yue more, so they liked Little Seven more. This was based on their understanding of Sima Yue. If they knew her strength and identity, they would like her even more. What did you find this time? Sima Yue saw her smile so happily and knew that she was in a good mood. Hee, just some big radishes. Little Seven stuffed the medicinal herbs in her hands into Sima Yue's hands. I want to eat candies. Sima Yue kept the medicinal herbs and said, let's go. I'll refine candies for you when we get back. Candies were very simple. It was to refine the medicinal herbs into pills. There was no need to add anything else. Little Seven liked to eat these pills. When they returned to the courtyard, they felt that there was someone inside. There's someone inside. Little Seven said. Sima Yue felt that there was someone inside. She smiled and pushed the door open to enter. The moment she entered, she saw the person sitting in the courtyard. Senior brother, why are you back? Have you settled the matters in the Sage Pavilion? She walked over and sat beside him. Little Seven ran outside to play. Before Sima Yue could sit down, Wu Lingyu pulled her into his embrace. He held her head and gave her a long kiss before letting go. I missed you. Wu Lingyu buried his head in her neck. I missed you too. Sima Yue hugged his shoulder. You haven't answered my question. Have you settled the matters in the Sage Pavilion? They sent another pavilion master over. Wu Lingyu said. Aren't you the Holy Sun? Shouldn't you be the pavilion master after Xiao Yunxiao died? Sima Yue said in surprise.
I rejected it. Wu Lingyu rubbed against her body. Why? If I become the pavilion master, then I will be very busy and won't have time to come back. Wu Lingyu said, if that's the case then I won't be able to accompany you in the future. Sima Yoyue's eyes lit up. She held his face and said, you're saying that you can always accompany me in the future? I can for the next few years. Really? Wu Lingyu nodded. Seeing the joy in her eyes, he smiled. Sima Yue got a positive answer and kissed him on the cheek to express her excitement. Just as she wanted to go back, he held her head and kissed her lips, feeling her beauty. After a while he let go of her. The two of them pulled at each other's lips. Can you really not go back for so long? What about the matters in the Sage Pavilion? The new pavilion master and I have a good relationship, so I don't have to hang around in front of him. Wu Lingyu said faintly. Sima Yue saw him like that and knew that it was not a normal relationship. He should be one of his people or someone who was controlled by him. But no matter what, he said that he could accompany her. That was great. Chapter 1048. Read 336. By the way, does Martial Uncle and the rest know about your return? Sima Yue raised her head and looked into his seductive eyes. I already went to see Martial Uncle when you were chatting with Uni. Wu Lingyu said. If you knew that I was in the alchemy hall, why didn't you look for me? Sima Yue poked his face with her finger. Wu Lingyu grabbed her hand and said, if I see you talking to other men, I'll be unhappy. But if I don't let you interact with others, you'll be unhappy. Sima Yue pursed her lips and smiled. This guy was obviously saying that he didn't like her being with other people. I came back this time with some news, Wu Lingyu said. About what? The Inner Circle's plan, Wu Lingyu said. What's the news? Is it related to the attack on our disciples? I've already told Uncle Master some of the relevant information. Wu Lingyu looked at her curious eyes. You don't have to care about those things. It's tiring to know too much. Oh, all right. Sima Yue did not force him to tell her. Anyway, as long as he was here, she did not need to care about anything and could focus on her own things. You said that Master went to chase after Aunt Feng. Why didn't he come back after so many years? Could something have happened? She asked worriedly. It's fine. Wu Lingyu said, that old man's life jade is still fine. Nothing happened. But there's been no news for so long, I'm a little worried. Sima Yue said. Why don't you go find your Aunt Feng? As long as that old man finds her, he will give up. Forget it then. Sima Yue said, I don't know how to find Aunt Feng. Even if I find her, I can't tell anyone about her. I promised her. Then don't worry about it, Wu Lingyu said. Yes. Sima Yue nodded. But I'm really curious about Aunt Feng's identity. The people who took Little Two away in the dark forest were very powerful at first glance, but when they saw Aunt Feng's soul imprint, they acted so, well, they seemed to be very respectful. Her identity. If I'm not wrong, it should be higher than what these people know, Wu Lingyu said. You have an idea? No. But we can check, Wu Lingyu said. So I'll know when it's time. Sima Yue sighed. Fortunately, Little Spirit said that the planting of Heaven's Scar is good. When this is planted, it can also heal Aunt Feng's injury. As for Xian Xiuhi's eyes, I also said that I would help him heal them. Wu Lingyu flicked her forehead and said, You're always thinking about those things. Why don't you think about me instead? I promise these things to others. Of course, I have to keep it in mind. Speaking of Little Two, do you still remember why there was a robbery of the auspicious beast? Wu Lingyu asked. Yes. It said that an immortal land is about to appear, and the auspicious beast's blood can open the door to the immortal land. Sima Yue said, Didn't they say that the immortal land would open soon? I'm afraid it's already over now. No. Wu Lingyu said, because of some reasons there was a problem with the immortal land, and the opening time was delayed. So we can make it in time? Sima Yue's eyes lit up. Wu Lingyu looked at her and knew that she was moved. He reached out and tapped her nose, saying, I knew you would want to go. Then do you know where the immortal land is? How long before it opens? Sima Yue asked with a smile. There are still a few months. It's enough for you to prepare, Wu Lingyu said. Then we'll go and take a look after the assessment. Sima Yue was in a good mood. The immortal land was a better place than the little realm, because these places were usually left behind by the Almighty, and there were more opportunities. If she was lucky, it was not impossible for her strength to increase greatly. In the following days, Sima Yue was even more comfortable. She did not have to worry about the matters in the valley, and she had someone she liked to accompany her. They could chat, answer her questions, and guide her. There was also nothing urgent for her to do. She felt that she had gained weight in the past half a month. Yu, I think you've gained weight too, Little Seven giggled as she watched Sima Yue pinch the meat on her face. Sima Yue turned around and glared at her. Even if you know, don't say it out loud. Wu Lingyu sat under a tree at the side, holding a cup of tea in his hand. Seeing her glare, he smiled and shook his head. Yu, don't be angry. Even if you've grown fat, Brother Lingyu won't despise you. Little Seven covered her mouth and laughed. There's no point in despising me, Wu Lingyu replied. Humph, it's too late to despise me now. Sima Yue took out a spirit fruit and threw it at him. Wu Lingyu caught the spirit fruit. There was still water on it and it was taken out after being washed. He took a bite and it was quite sweet. I've already discussed with Martial Uncle. After the assessment is over, we can arrange for people to go to the immortal land, Wu Lingyu said. Are there auspicious beasts in the valley? Sima Yue asked. Don't you have one? Wu Lingyu blinked. Humph, you have one too. Sima Yue glared at him. Other than the people in the valley, what other arrangements do you have? Wu Lingyu asked. Sima Yue sat beside him, thought for a while and said, Brother and the others are in the little realm and haven't come out yet. I just have to bring some people from the sect over. Oh, if senior brother and senior sister aren't with the sect, they can come with us. Then you can inform them after the assessment is over. Wu Lingyu said. I'll contact them earlier. This is such a rare opportunity we can't miss it. Otherwise we'll regret it for the rest of our lives. Sima Yue replied. 2 days later, the Divine Devil Valley's disciple assessment officially began. Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu followed the hall masters to the rostrum. The disciples of the various halls were already waiting below. Yu, we always sit in the spectator's seat or the contestant's seat with you. I didn't expect that we would be able to sit on the rostrum this time. Little Seven sat beside Sima Yue and moved around on the chair. It's my first time sitting in this seat too. Sima Yue said, Be quiet, don't make any noise. Little Seven quietened down and stretched her neck to watch the competition below. The MC below went up and started to preside over the assessment in the valley. After explaining a bunch of rules, the first round of assessment finally started. It was Sima Yue's first time sitting here. Different seats had different angles. In the past, she watched how those people competed with a learning mentality. But this time, she watched with a judgmental attitude. She wanted to see if the disciples in the valley were all that outstanding. This book came from Pin and Book #web. Chapter 1049. The first day of the assessment was for the disciples of the Alchemy Hall. Uni and the others were all inside. Although the tablet ebook was injured last time, it had completely recovered now. There was no obstacle in the process of refining pills. Yue, Xiao Jingzhong called out softly. Old Xiao, what's the matter? Sima Yue turned to look at him. Nothing, I just wanted to thank you. Xiao Jingzhong said, Look at Uni and the others. If it weren't for you they wouldn't be able to refine pills now. That's right. She said, Yue, your silver needle technique can be said to have reached perfection. It's even better than many miraculous pills. Thank you for your compliment, Elder He. Sima Yue smiled. I've been busy before. I only remembered to ask you now. He said hesitantly. Elder He, is there something that you can't say? Sima Yue asked when she saw his hesitation. It's like this. We've never heard of your silver needle technique before. Can you teach it to the disciples in the valley? I know this idea is a little abrupt, but... Elder He, you're exaggerating. I'm now the Junior Valley Master of Divine Devil Valley. This silver needle technique can heal others. It's a good thing that I can contribute to the valley. Sima Yue said. For ordinary people, these skills would usually be kept a secret. Only when they were establishing a sect would they spread it out. He did not expect her to agree so quickly. Really? He was so happy that even his beard was smiling. Of course it's true. Sima Yue was amused by his expression. However, it's easy to get started with this silver needle technique but hard to master. I can only leave some of the basic knowledge in the valley. If you need to master it, you still need to study it among the disciples. Of course. He nodded. Then I'll go back and sort out the knowledge of acupuncture points and silver needles and send it to the pharmacist hall. Good, haha. The assessment continued. Alchemy, tool refining, array formation and so on. Over the next few days they spent their time in the assessment process. Just as Sima Yue and the rest were going through the assessment in the valley, the news of the Immortal Land opening had spread throughout the mainland. Various forces were eager to take action. The requirements for opening the fairyland, such as the blood of auspicious beasts, reminded the world of the robbery of Little Two in the dark forest. Only then did they realize that the news of the Immortal Land's appearance had already been known at that time. However, Little Two had been taken away. This matter was no longer a secret. Without the auspicious beast, where would they go to find the blood of the auspicious beast to open the gate to the fairyland? Therefore, during this period of time, the continent began to search for auspicious beasts again. Some factions with auspicious beasts were not in a hurry, but those independent people could not. They had to seek protection to protect their auspicious beast. On this day, Sima Yue came to the courtyard from Guangqi and took out the mother-son stone and Shimin Feng. "Sister, what's wrong?" Shimin Feng asked. "Feng, let me tell you something." Sima Yue took the spirit fruit that Wu Lingyu gave her, took a bite and then said, "Do you still remember those people robbing Little Two in the dark forest?" "I remember." "Are you going to talk about the Immortal Land?" Shimin Feng asked. "You know about it too?" "Of course, now the whole continent is talking about the Immortal Land. No matter how hidden our Heartbreak Valley is, we should know about such a big thing." Shimin Feng said with a smile. "Since you know, what do you think?" Sima Yue asked. "I do have an idea. You seem to be in a good mood. What do you think? Tell me about it." Sima Yue heard that his tone was more relaxed, with a hint of bad intentions. "Zongjing clan also wants to enter the Immortal Land," Shimin Feng said. "Zongjing clan?" Sima Yue's eyes lit up, and the corner of her mouth slanted. "Do they have auspicious beasts?" "No," Shimin Feng said. "Then they still want to go in? Aren't they thinking of a way?" Shimin Feng said, "I see that they have been very active recently. They will definitely think of a way. Even if they can't find it, we have to let them find it." "Brother Feng, you're having a bad idea," Little Seven said loudly to the Sun Mother Stone. "Don't I want to help them?" Shimin Feng said. "You don't want to help them. I think you just want to get them in and then kill them." Little Seven said with a smile. "Eeh." Shimin Feng laughed. "What do you think?" Sima Yue asked with a smile. "Naturally, I want to help them find the blood of the auspicious beasts," Shimin Feng said. If you have an idea, go ahead and do it. If you need anything, just tell me." Sima Yue gave him full authority. "Then do you know where the auspicious beasts are?" He really said if he needed anything. She didn't know where the auspicious beasts were, so she could only look at Wu Lingyu. "I just happen to know where the auspicious beasts are." Wu Lingyu shook the wine cup in his hand at Sima Yue. Sima Yue stared at his calm look and looked at the sky. "What else do you not know?" Wu Lingyu smiled and didn't say anything. A few days later, the Zongjing clan sent a piece of good news. Clan head. Found it. Found it." An elder ran to the meeting hall excitedly and shouted. The clan head of the Zongjing clan, Zongjing Qingren, stood up from his seat. "Really? You found the whereabouts of the auspicious beasts?" That elder was so excited that his face turned red. He nodded vigorously and said, "Yes, clan head. The news this time is absolutely true." "Where is it?" "It's in a valley in the southern wasteland." But what?" Zongjing Qingren asked. "This news has already reached the ears of many powers. Everyone is heading there now." The elder said, "We have to act quickly. Otherwise we will fall behind others. Since you found it, then bring people there. Let Song Mao go. You must bring the auspicious beasts back." Zongjing Qingren shouted. "Yes, clan head." That elder turned and left hurriedly. "Clan head, the auspicious beasts this time are related to the Immortal Land. The junior valley master is still young. It's better to let a few elders keep an eye on it." Another elder stood up. "You're right. You go with the fifth elder and young master," Zongjing Qingren ordered. "Yes, clan head." Half a day later, Zongjing Song Mao left the clan with a group of people and rushed to a valley in the southern wasteland. Half a day later, Sima Yue received news from Shimin Feng. "Sister, there's news. This time it's Zongjing Song Mao and 2 other people." Sima Yue smiled brightly. "Okay, then let's go according to plan." HP. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.